I want to get better at pen spins again.
I just do it with muscle memory now. I don't even think about it. I hold a pen and I just start doing it.
I used to be able to do that one, and then the one where you flick it and then it goes back the other way. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. I can only do one. Fuck.
How many like useless skills have you ever learned in your life?
It's just my entire life. My entire life is a list of useless skills.
Every video game ever.
Yeah.
Every video game ever. I think one day.
What counts as a useful skill?
I don't know. Okay. So like the reason I learned pen spinning is because I fidget. Like I guess we just started, but the reason I learned pen spinning is because I just really like to fidget, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, if I fidget all the time, might as well make it look cool, you know? And that's literally the reason I learned how to do the pen spin thing.
I just did it because I was bored in class.
Otherwise, I'd probably just like start chewing on the pen or something, right? I don't know. I was like, I was definitely that kid.
What about like people who like Felix does this with the knives?
The knives.
Yeah. I want to.
You can't really bring
that.
a knife to school, can you?
Yeah.
How do you even get into that?
teach.
How do you learn and get into that and then start doing it?
I'd be way too scared to try.
It's not about learning and getting into that, because there's so many YouTube channels that teach that kind of stuff, but it's having the commitment to be like, I'm going to learn this now. I'm going to spend time learning this skill, which I don't ever know if I'm going to be able to use this in my life.
Right. Well, again, what's a skill that's useful?
Actually, why did you learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube?
Because I've always just wanted to. Because
Really?
again, imagine you're the only Asian kid in a white school, right? So you're just like given these like insane expectations to do these like crazy skills, right? Like people never believed me in school when they said that I couldn't play chess. Just because they were like, but you're the Asian kid, you're the smart kid. You should know how to do all these things. Like, you can't play shogi, you can't play Go. I'm like, no. And it's like, what? Fake Asian. And Rubik's cubes, like stereotypically, right? Yeah, back when I was in school, it was.
Yeah. By the way, welcome to Trash Taste. We just jumped right into it.
Welcome to a little Trash Taste.
Yeah.
I'm Connor, featuring the boys, Garden Joey.
Yeah,
Me, the Rubik's Cube player.
The Rubik's Cube.
I don't know, and like I always like, because it was one of those things that I feel you go to like any house,
right?
And there's like a high possibility that it's just kind of like sitting there as like an ornament,
Yeah.
right? It was like very rare. I'd say like out of 10 houses that have a Rubik's Cube, 9 of them probably have like a thin layer of dust on top of it, because it's just like, oh, it's just like a cool little knick-knack to put on the shelf, right? So to make my it's like that coffee table book, that like no one actually reads, but it's like, oh, you read this, and they're like,
It's like iconic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a piece. Is it?
But like, how often do you get to flex your Rubik's Cube skills if it's not like
only on Trash Taste?
If we didn't have like a Trash Taste Rubik's Cube, how many times in your life have like you gone to a party and you're like, oh my god, it's a Rubik's Cube, guys, I'm about to flex.
Step back,
guys.
Here comes the Asian kid.
I think everyone who knows how to solve a Rubik's Cube, says they don't regret it.
No,
they don't. They
Actually,
very likely
because it's like weirdly an impressive skill to have.
I promised in a video I was going to learn it.
It's not that hard. I actually learned it once as well, because I learned it. I've completely forgotten it, but I remember
Could have been that easy then.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. I forgot it.
I mean, I learned it in a day. Because like I remember I was in a hotel room, and I was staying in this hotel, and for some reason it was like this, it was like this chic hotel. They tried doing like different things with their decorations, and it just had a Rubik's Cube that was unsolved in this like really clean hotel room.
Right.
And my like OCD mind was just like, how dare they?
It's not perfect.
How dare, like it's like they fucking designed this room to be like just mildly infuriating. Like it was a perfectly clean room. It looked amazing, but on the desk there was just a Rubik's Cube on there.
It's like those memes of like, you should see a picture and it's like, what's wrong with this image?
yeah, right. And like I could not sleep in this like hotel room knowing that there was like, I was staring all night at this Rubik's Cube that was just unsolved. Yeah. And so I just took a day where I just Googled how to solve a Rubik's Cube so I could fucking just solve it before I went to bed, learn how to do it. And it like, I never really thought about how to solve a Rubik's Cube before, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty simple. It's just an algorithm, basically. Yeah, right?
It's just a bunch of like algorithms.
Well, I mean, when you're following a guide, it's pretty easy. But the hard part is being able to do it independently.
Yeah. So I never got to the point where it was just like muscle memory. I was just like, it was just like, it was a slow process. But anyone's able to solve a Rubik's Cube.
I also remember like the reason why I actually like finally learned how to solve it, because I always wanted to solve it since I was in high school, because again, I got, called that kid. But then, pandemic hit, everyone's stuck inside, and it's like, I think everyone had that point where it's like, well, I need to fucking do something, right? I can only play so many hours of Animal Crossing per day, right? So it's like
so many sourdough breads.
Exactly. So I was like, all right, well, let's like learn a bunch of useless skills. So I think I learned how to do like 4 or 5 different useless skills, and Rubik's Cubes just happened to be one of them.
What are the other ones?
The other one was, you've probably seen it before. Do you know what kendama is? It's like this very old Japanese toy that it kind of looks like a hammer with a ball.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I did that as a kid, but I wasn't very good at it.
What is that? Like,
it's just like it's this like really ancient Japanese toy, kind of like like spinning tops and stuff. It's like that era.
What's the challenge?
The challenge is you have to. So there's 3 different plates on this, like it looks like a hammer. And there's like a concave like plate on the bottom, and there's 2 concave plates on the side, and there's like a little spike on the top. The regular one, that thing. The regular one is like you kind of turn it to the side, and you have to throw the ball up without actually holding the ball and let it land in the cup. That's just like the simple skill. But there's like a million different like tricks you can do. It's kind of like yo-yoing. Right, where it's like you can just like regularly do a yo-yo, and then there are yo-yo tricks, right, which are just like on another level of difficult and skill.
Those are cool.
And so like kendama is kind of the same thing. So like Japan every year has like these like kendama championships, where like you can actually get like licenses and like certificates to say that you're a pro kendama like player if you do like these certain tricks.
Right, that's cool.
And one of the tricks, I could do like the regular cup.
Right.
Because, like, that's fucking easy. Like, anyone can do that, honestly. One of the hardest ones is where you have to get it so that the ball lands on the spike.
Right.
By doing this. And
that
like,
sounds impossible.
There's a trick to it, but then I was like, I'm going to learn how to do that during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So I bought like a proper like professional graded like kendama, because they have those. There's like the toy ones, and then there's the one,
graded.
Yeah, there's like a kendama.
It's a serious piece.
There's like a national kendama committee in Japan where they're like, they look at each kendama and they're like, yeah, you can use that in those in competitions, and it comes with like a certificate to be like, yeah, this is a certified kendama.
So did you learn how to do it?
Yeah, I learned how to do it. And
now you got to bring it into the office. I'm curious now.
You can't say that. There better be a video on screen right now of Joey doing it.
How have you never like posted a video on Twitter or something?
Because it's like the most niche thing on the planet.
I would like to see it. Okay. You just randomly like in the next Anime Man or Joey video, you just like have.
Well, I'm just gonna have that.
Just casually do it. Just don't explain yourself. You just casually do it. I swear to God, guys. I swear to God, every comment is going to be about that one thing, right?
I was gifted a Rubik's Cube once as a kid.
Yeah.
For Christmas.
By
my parents.
Oh, okay.
But it was a Harry Potter Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
So all the tiles were themed. They were all pictures of Harry Potter.
Right.
Because I loved Harry Potter. Of course I did, because I'm British.
Yeah.
And so I have this cube, right? And I'm thinking, wow, this is just great.
Yeah.
And I turn it once. And no, I'll put it back.
Don't want to ruin the picture.
I like the picture. What's the point in the cube if I don't have the
cube? That's me in basically every Rubik's Cube before.
So I go, and then another day I go back to it and I turn it once, turn it twice, and I'm like, no, I'll put it back. I can't. I don't want to ruin it. And then one time I go, a few days later or whatever. I love this cube. It's the most awful thing. Like it's so hard to solve because the pictures are so shit.
Yeah.
So I start turning it, and I turn it like 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start turning it back. And then I turn it back. I'm like 1, okay, 2. Oh fuck! It's not back the way it was.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I think it's like there's one thing out of play. I can fix this. I start trying things and I just keep fucking it up.
It just gets worse and worse.
And then I realize what a shit toy this is. I'm like 8 years old. I cannot solve this. Now I'm just fucked. And now if I want to see the pictures of Harry Potter, I have to actually like learn how to solve it. But I'm 8 and I don't know how. No one's even begun to explain to me. There's an algorithm. I don't know that. I Google. I get 1 hour a day to go online. I'm not using that. I'm going to go watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX episode 400 part 1 of 3 Espanol. I'm going to do that and not look at the Rubik's Cube. So I was just like really disappointed and I was really sad. And I remember I found it a few years later and I thought, I'll give it a shot. And I just couldn't do it. And
that seems more difficult than a regular one.
It was, because the pictures were all like it was Harry Potter and it was Hogwarts, so they're all like they were like brown.
Could you take like the stickers off?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I was going to ask. That's what I did as a kid.
but then when I did that, it wasn't, because this is the factory, the factory production. All the cubes were perfect. So when I started peeling them and shit, they were all like a little bit wonky. I couldn't get it. Stickers are some of the most annoying shit to like place.
Yeah,
because you put it and you're like, I'm doing it perfectly, flat. You put it on, douche. I don't know how that happens.
Every time.
Building a gunpla be like...
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, fucking...
It's like that, but
on planet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, like, I think the only, like, useless skill I've learned before was, I mean, do you guys know how to juggle?
No. I learned how to do the one-handed.
You learn how to use the one-handed juggle?
But like, with 2 balls where you kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
I never got to the point where it was with 3.
Yeah, I mean, growing up on Brighton Beach, I remember like one day I just decided to just learn how to juggle using pebbles and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I can still juggle. I don't know. Well,
it's
been a while.
We have to have a video where we show each other the useless skills.
Actually, the most useful party trick. Do you guys have any party tricks that you like... can show off in a party or whatever.
Not that I remember.
Okay. I'm like fucking Susan Boyle at every party I go to. Everyone stops.
Yeah. Actually, like the most useful party trick I know is just being able to open a bottle with anything. I've done that a few times because it's not just like it's every time you do it. If you want to just know a trick that will take you 5 minutes to learn, but will be useful in basically every party you go to. Yeah. Just learn how to open a bottle with a lighter or another bottle.
I feel like us not sharing these abilities is like making this episode worse. What's the point of us filming this?
No one believes us.
What's the point of us filming this?
Like how often do you go to a party and you see a Rubik's Cube there and you're like, finally,
like boys,
step back. Boys, my time to shine.
I can click my wrists on command.
Can you click it?
Can you?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, that doesn't sound healthy.
Oh, you got like 80-year-old wrists already. That's the guy. Is that the gamer wrist? That's the gamer wrist.
You want to see these scars, boys?
Tell me you have carpal tunnel without saying you have carpal tunnel.
I don't know. I can just click both of them.
Yeah, I only know like small little things that will, maybe impress like your 5-year-old cousin. Yeah. When you're at home. Like I can do like the water droplet sound. Like that's the only thing I can do.
Oh yeah, that's Skype. You can do the Skype thing perfectly.
The Skype thing?
The Skype.
The do 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 Sorry, is that a skill?
We just like ran out of shit to talk about. Like, what'd you do? Joe, do the thing again.
I think that's pretty funny. We're talking about useless.
That appeals to a very like tight niche. You have to be on the internet in the mid 2000s to appreciate that one.
Do the Windows XP shutdown noise. Can you do that?
That's not accurate at all. That's just me singing it. Shit. I've never done that. Why did you think I could do that?
I don't know. I thought you'd be able to do that thing where you like hold your body up. I don't know why I've always been able to do that.
Oh, what do you mean?
The one with like through here, like that?
Like when you're just like on a surface and you can like hold your whole body.
Oh, you mean like what breakdancers do, kind of?
Yeah. I've always been able to do that. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, you have to have like good core strength for that, don't you? Like, I guess you got you got great core strength, right?
I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know if
this like conversation just reminded me that I went through like a phase. Like, you're a kid and sometimes you go through phases, right? So I remember the first time I've ever saw David Blaine on TV doing stream matches, and I'm just like, I want to do that. That looks incredible. And I remember like going through this phase where there was these packages. This was before you could just Google or YouTube how to do magic tricks online. So I actually had to like pay I had to convince my parents to send off money to this company that like supposedly sent you magic tricks and like magic secrets and all that.
Sounds like a scam.
I'm surprised like for the one time in my life it wasn't a scam.
Okay.
They actually like sent me back like a VHS that I played, and I remember like learning how to do like a bunch of these magic tricks, and I'm just like, great, I'm gonna impress everyone around me. But like there's never a moment where you go to a party or you go to a family gathering and like you don't want to be that guy who just brings out a deck of cards.
Pick a card, any card.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, I know magic. I have a deck of cards on me right now. You know, you don't want to be that guy. So I've never been able to, like, even though I learned how to use these skills as a kid, I never was able to show them off. So it's kind of like martial arts in some way, right? Because you know, I remember seeing this YouTube video about like, why do people learn martial arts? Because you basically spend years of your life, you spend years and years honing this one skill for like these moments that will only last maybe like a few minutes of your life, right? Unless you go to tournaments and stuff like that, right? Because like you're training yourself for like that one fight you're gonna be in like whatever moment that's going to be, right? Yeah. But then you spend years building up to that moment, and like, what if you just fuck up in that moment, right? What if all the training just leaves your body in that one moment?
What if the dude's like 9 foot?
Yeah, right. I didn't try this.
I'm like, fuck, dude. What weight are you again? Oh shit, no, that's my weight class. Sorry.
Yeah. I feel like that's the good thing though about like doing YouTube is that like for me, I just use videos to do shit that I otherwise wouldn't normally do. So like with like martial arts, for instance, like I remember, oh my god, I don't even remember how many years ago this was. This is like a 4 or 5 year old video. I learned how to like backflip.
I was going to say, if there's one skill I want to learn how to do, actually, it's the backflip.
What? It's just like standing.
Yeah, a standing backflip.
You did a standing backflip.
I did a standing backflip once in a video. It was it was me and like.
Was your parents encourage you? They're trying to get rid of you.
No. It was. I was in Japan already. Oh, okay. I was in Japan, and it was me, Dogen, and my friend Alba.
Well, you were above the age of like 15 doing this.
Yeah, this is like 4 years ago.
Oh my god, that's like suicide.
Yeah, because we cosplayed as Naruto characters.
Oh my. That's the reason you learn how to backflip? Because of Naruto?
Because it was a Naruto online sponsorship.
Oh my.
And I was like, well, I need to do something Naruto related. You know what? I'll learn ninja tricks. And by ninja tricks, I mean just tricking and learning how to backflip.
Wait, so how long did it take you to learn how to backflip?
Like I think we were in that gym for maybe like 5-6 hours. Okay. But I learned how to do like other tricking like tricks because like Dogen used to be like a fucking like professional trickster. Is that the right word? I don't know. Professional trickster. Sounds like a Persona character.
what, like parkour?
Yeah. He used to do like tricking
and
shit.
Fuck?
Serious?
And then he like hurt his knees, I think, really badly, and he like couldn't stop doing it. But he was like he taught me how to like backflip and shit. And I did it successfully once, and I haven't done it since.
Do you think you'd be able to relearn and pull off another backflip?
Maybe, because I think what took me so long, and I think what the level of entry is that you just have to get over your fear.
Yeah. That's what, like, because I've seen people trying to learn backflips. So I'm just like, that looks like a really interesting process.
Snapped your neck. Just get over it. Get over the fear, you piece of shit.
Yeah, because like it's not natural for you to be like, all right, jump and also pull your entire body back like this at the same time. Like your body's just like, no.
I think that's cool, but the one skill I learned, I also love this channel. It's Mike Boyd. Boyd, yeah, he does like how long can it take me to learn X thing?
Oh, I think I know that character. Yeah.
I think I've seen
got this one video, and I really want to learn how to do this. He has an umbrella, and he's holding the umbrella, and the trick is that he throws the umbrella in front of him. It goes like quite far away, and then it opens in midair. And while he's walking, he catches the umbrella as he's like, so it fully opens.
Yeah.
Floats down, and he catches it.
Yeah.
And I want to learn how to do that.
There's so many like little tricks like that I want to learn how to do.
Just imagine it, you're on like the Japanese street, and you're just like, right. It's like some anime shit.
I want to do that with like a cap, where like you throw the cap and it lands perfectly on your head.
But that's not good enough because you always need to like pull it down, right? With the umbrella, it's like immediate. You're like walking, you're good to go. No readjustment. You've got the umbrella.
Oh no, you know what's a truly useless skill I've always wanted to learn? What? Is to draw a perfect hand circle.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
I've seen so many videos, and every time I see it, I'm just like, nut. That is the most satisfying thing in the world. Just like freehand.
That
just
one
like
video where the guy like does that.
The guy does that.
I want to do that shit.
That's
a cool party trick.
That is a cool party trick. Everyone has a pencil. Not everyone has a Rubik's Cube.
Exactly.
You know?
I don't carry a pencil on me all the time.
Well, no, if you're at someone's house.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you're not going to be in a house that doesn't have a drawing equipment of some kind. Have you ever been in a house where they just don't have any pens and pencils?
I think it was my house, right?
Wow. That's just Connor's house, right?
Yeah, that's my house.
True millennial right here.
What's pencil? What's pen and paper, dude?
Actually, I don't think I have a pencil in my house.
What?
I have pens.
No, there's no way. You guys live in Japan. There's more paperwork than fucking anything in this country.
Pens,
you just use pens.
Well, yeah, pens. That's what I mean, like drawing things.
Yeah, I guess like now that I'm thinking,
drawing equipment.
drawing
What's the word?
you calling pens?
Drawing things.
Drawing things.
What is it called?
Drawing. What are those painters paint with? Oh, yeah, the drawing thing.
Unfortunately, I don't draw anything. When was the last time I drew something?
Just imagine like the sad music playing. I haven't drawn anything.
I haven't drawn
Since
anything.
the accident. I haven't drawn anything.
I just have like zero skill in drawing, and I have done for my entire life. I think. I don't know.
We need to do like a drawing competition now that you said that.
As somebody who also sucks at drawing, I believe it's like singing. It's like I don't think you're just like naturally good like immediately. Oh, maybe you are actually.
I think some people are.
Some people
but I think you do have to practice though.
Yeah, of course
definitely.
you have to practice. But I think the last time I drew something, I can't remember what the context was, but I think I had to draw a cat for something. Oh, it was the Netflix shoot. I remember because it was for Anime Club and Netflix, and I had to draw a cat on the whiteboard or something. And Joey just made like I was drawing this cat, and Joey could not recognize like that it was even an animal that I was drawing on this whiteboard.
He drew like a UMA. Like I don't know what it was. It was not of this earth.
What is a UMA?
Like those like unidentified. What is it? like the chupacabra. Like that level. It's like urban legend shit.
Chupacabra.
What the fuck's a UMA? Something animal.
This is the first time I've ever.
Unidentified mysterious animal.
This
Yeah,
is the first
like
time-
UFO.
This is the first thing I've ever.
Yeah, you know, like Mothman or like chupacabra, like any of those. Like,
I didn't know they were
urban
called
legends.
UMAs.
UMAs, unidentified mysterious animal.
Do you believe any of those?
No. Although when I was 10, I did believe chupacabra, but I
did
think
believe-
anyone did.
Why would you believe in chupacabra?
Because you're 10 years old. you believe Harry Potter is real when you're 10 years
Isn't
old.
that in like Mexico or something?
Yeah, it was Mexican or Spanish. I mean, chupacabra means
Nowhere near you.
chupacabra means goat drinker or some shit.
But what is the chupacabra?
Fucking no.
It was
I
this-
killed
it was-
it in
it
Red
was this,
Dead.
like-
I killed it. I killed it in Red Dead.
It was this like viral video in like early 2000s, I think, where like it was Mexico or Spain or somewhere, it was some Spanish speaking country where like just some dudes went into a forest at night because they heard some shit, and then there was this like creature that appeared on camera.
It was like the goat person, right?
Yeah, it was like eating a goat, or it looked like a demonic goat.
Yeah.
And like I remember like back then, like it was a huge sensation, especially in Japan. It was a massive sensation because for an early 2000s video, it was like way too high quality. Like it looked way too real. Like you look at the chupacabra videos now, and you're like, oh, that could almost, like, if you weren't aware of it, that could almost come off as convincing.
Yeah.
Because it was like too good. And then people were like shocked when they found out it was fake. And it's like, oh, who would have thought there isn't a fucking goat drinker demon thing in the forests of Mexico or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. I think like the only thing that I believed as a kid, or I wanted to believe, I really wanted to believe like the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh,
real.
yeah.
I don't know. Because a kid, you're just obsessed with dinosaurs and you're like,
Exactly.
We like stories.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We like thinking cool shit
Yeah.
exists out there, but it doesn't.
It's like everyone wanted to believe Moby Dick was a real thing.
Like
as well.
Bigfoot. Like a lot of people,
Bigfoot, yeah.
weirdly, a lot of people really
That fucking
believe.
image of Bigfoot like doing this.
People
you
like
know?
really believe Bigfoot for some reason.
But like it also like makes me think, what if one of those things was real, right? What would make you actually believe it, right? Because
seeing it.
If I see it like if I see like a news article of like scientists like properly
having
talking
someone
about
credible be like, yep, this is
okay,
legit.
because like I remember, because I think we have talked about this before, but like I mean, it's been proven by the government that UFOs exist, and like nobody freaked out over it. Nobody really reacted
Sounds like
to it.
Alex Jones. Well,
I mean, like last year with the what was it, the Black Files?
but like it's like if I said to you, oh, by the way, we found an alien spaceship. We know it's an alien, by the way. You'd be freaking out. But if you're like, oh, we have no fucking clue what that thing was. You're like,
it could have been like a drone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Everyone like doesn't, because you're like, oh, well, I'm sure there's an explanation for it. We just don't know. But if it's like, by the way, we literally found the things from Men in Black, then I think everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, because, I mean, it's weird, right? Because you do look at the videos. I do look at the videos of the UFO images and the UFO videos, and I'm just like, that's freaky. And I do think UFOs exist, but do I think it's aliens? I don't know. I don't know myself. I don't know how to react to it, I guess.
I
go on.
No, I was gonna say, like, there was a weird part of me that saw those like government file videos, which are like legit, right? Because like why would an organization like that lie?
Yeah.
But it's like I saw it and I was like, why does that look like just every other UFO video I've ever seen.
I think that's the problem with it, right? Because there's so many fakes nowadays that even when the real thing is actually released, you're so desensitized with it. You're just like,
it's like the fake ones looked more real than this one.
right.
Like,
right.
why is that?
It's just I thought seeing UFOs, real UFOs, would be more impressive. Yeah. And I don't know why I thought that, but I just thought it would be more impressive, and it just wasn't, you know?
I mean, I assume that if an alien species finds us, we'll probably be dead.
Why? They just wipe us out.
Odds are, there's like, think of it. If an alien spaceship, if alien civilization had the opportunity to, or had the capability of finding other planets and going around scouting, they're more technologically advanced than us.
Yeah.
We're pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Odds are they're not going to want to be like, hey, friends. They're going to be like, let's take all your stuff. You have minerals. We need collect the minerals. You require more minerals. Like fucking StarCraft. They're going to use us for another base. Why would they give a shit? They're not going to give a fuck. They'll treat us like cows.
Yeah, true, I mean, it's like, it's kind of, I agree with you, because I think, what if humanity had this
we would fuck over everyone.
we would
fuck everyone.
Yeah, we fuck ourselves over enough, like let alone another species.
We can't even save our own fucking planet, let alone some other species' planet. You know,
anyone who thinks that like we wouldn't just blow up a planet if we just thought they were a little strange looking, that doesn't have enough.
Especially if they have like natural resources or some shit.
I'm sure a lot of people would be like, I don't think we should do this, but the government of whatever, the united government of all whatever, would just be like, bye bye planet.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Oh, we'll just find another one.
But they are rich in iron. We must destroy.
Exactly right. Yeah. Which, speaking of destroying planets and living through the apocalypse, I guess we kind of,
what a fantastic segue.
Yeah, what a fantastic segue. We kind of lived through something like that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, that was terrifying. We had a very big earthquake. I'm sure.
That's what I was like, what are you referring to?
Yeah, we same brain cell.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we had two big earthquakes actually yesterday, back to back. I'm sure the world news has covered it. It's probably old news by the time you're watching this, but.
Well, I mean, it was the biggest earthquake I have lived through.
I think Tokyo was like mag 4 or 5.
4.5, I think.
Yeah. Like but I think it was like magnitude 7.3, the epicenter.
Yeah,
in Fukushima. But yeah, I mean, I thought I'd experienced like big earthquakes in Japan before, and this one, like even for people who have lived in Japan for longer than me, said that this was the biggest one that they've experienced as well. Yeah. And you know, it's a lot of people said it's the biggest one they've experienced since the 2011 earthquake.
Yeah.
In Fukushima as well.
Yeah. Right? Because I think it was because it wasn't just one.
Yeah.
It was like one that was pretty big already that caused another even bigger one. Like literally 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
So it just felt like one continuously large earthquake.
Well, how was it for you guys?
Am I weird? I like earthquakes.
You like earthquakes?
I quite like it. Is that bad?
Like in what sense?
It feels like a fun QuickTime event or something. I don't know. I don't know why, but it feels kind of fun. Is this weird?
Yeah, it's a bit.
I know this is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is technically a natural disaster.
Yeah. I know. I know because it's like it causes so many problems. But like
that's like watching a bushfire and being like, "Oh, sick."
You know, like I get it.
Well, you don't say that about like typhoons.
This is the guy who gave us shit for looking at fire next to a canister, and here he is being like looking at an earthquake, like a disaster on like 10 times the magnitude, not more than like thousands of times the magnitude of an exploding can, and he's just like, ooh, a QuickTime event.
It's just, I don't know, like
the Bayonetta music starts playing.
I obviously protect my whatever is valuable in my house, but also it's kind of interesting seeing what stays and what falls over. I quite enjoy that. I understand.
It's a bet for you taking bets. Being like,
I was out and I was kind of like hyped to think like when I came back I was like, oh, I wonder what fell over. Like nothing had fell over, and I was like,
you were disappointed.
I'm like, oh, okay. Obviously, if like my TV had fell over, I'd be like, fuck, that's shit. But you know, when it's mild ones, like obviously because it was a big earthquake, but it wasn't that big in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And I like those ones, but obviously if it was like 8. Yeah, I'd be another thing entirely. I do not like this one. I do not like this earthquake.
I mean, like one thing I do not understand after having lived in Japan and experienced a bunch of earthquakes now is when do they send out the earthquake alarm?
I do not get
it. I swear to God,
it's when the epicenter is close enough.
Oh, okay.
Did you get one?
No.
I have never gotten one since I got my new phone.
Right. But the earthquake was big enough to the fact that we felt it.
Yeah. Because I hear the earthquake alarm and I brace myself and it's like the piddliest like little earthquake I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere, like yesterday, like the entire fucking house starts shaking. I'm like, why didn't I get an alarm for this? I feel like this is like more prevalent for like the alarm that I should be bracing myself for.
I do. Have you watched that YouTube video that's like noises that will give you anxiety if you live in Japan or something?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like all the disaster noises.
Yeah.
Have you heard the tsunami one?
Yeah, the tsunami was terrifying.
It's horrible. It's like the what's the tower in Pokemon called?
Oh, the fucking Pokemon Tower.
Like no, the one with the dead Cubone.
Yeah, Pokemon Tower.
Is it Pokemon Tower?
I think no, Lavender Tower.
Lavender Tower.
Yeah.
It's like that level of creepy. The tsunami one.
This episode is sponsored by Honey. We all shop online. Right, guys? Guys? Anyone? And we've all seen that promo code taunt us at the checkout, but thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is a free browser extension that scours the entire internet for the best promo code that you can use and applies it automatically for you. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online that ranges from tech companies to gaming products to fashion brands and even food. Here's how it works. Just imagine you're shopping at one of your favorite stores online. Don't tell me, I'm gonna guess.
Jesus Christ, that's what you're into?
And then when you're at the checkout, the Honey button drops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for all the available coupons it can find for that site. And then if it finds a working coupon, you'll watch as the prices drop. I've been getting ready to fly back to England and recently Honey saved me $10 on this new travel bag I got just for that. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by doing it, you'll be doing yourself a favor and helping us out too. So get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/trashtaste. That's joinhoney.com/trashtaste. Thank you to Honey for sponsoring this episode. Back to the video.
Oh, that's it.
I fucking hate that. It's horrible.
Yeah.
That one's horrible, dude.
That one...
Drum, dum.
It sounds like when you get an item in an RPG.
It sounds like I just opened a box in Zelda or something.
Dum, dum. I think it's creepy because like
it's slightly dissonant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like you're in a room that is like collapsing. And like it's designed to do that, and it's like you're dying.
It's like you're in a game and you just like triggered a bad event.
No. I know the feeling.
Really
have you ever heard like those music remixes where they take a happy song and they remix it in like a minor key? That's exactly what it sounds like.
You're talking about like Wrecking Ball in G minor.
Yeah. Joey gets one. Joey gets
music
the music memes.
I get
Joey
those.
gets the music memes.
Yeah,
it's
something
just like
in G minor.
Yeah. It's just that feels dirty. I don't like that.
It's demonic.
Yeah.
No, the one that always gives me fucking anxiety is the earthquake alarms.
Yeah, that's
what?
But that one feels dangerous.
Yeah.
The tsunami one is creepy because it doesn't feel like it's like, oh my god, this is like a world-ending event.
Yeah,
this is
like it just sounds like a minor discomfort.
Yeah.
it's like the mall's closing.
Get out of the mall now.
Yeah, I mean, like for the earthquake yesterday for me, so it was actually big enough that it knocked out the power in my section of Tokyo. But
dox yourself, God.
Sorry,
dox yourself.
Well, it was the power got outed in a bunch of sections.
I think the news said it was like 2 million homes were out of power.
Yeah,
I don't even know if mine. I might have lost power, but I was out. So
you definitely would have known if you lost.
Yeah, you would have.
I wasn't there. So
okay. You went at home. Okay.
Like, I could have gone out. And
yeah,
mine was fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I actually didn't even feel the first one. I don't know. Like sometimes people were just like, "Oh, there was an earthquake," and I'm like, "I didn't feel it. Was there really an earthquake, or did you just stand up too fast, or just got a head rush?" You know, because that happens to me sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, where I think it's an earthquake happening, but it's really just
me tripping balls.
yeah. I just feel like a little lightheaded or something.
Or are you watching something in Dolby Atmos? Yeah. I genuinely think there's always an earthquake happening when I'm watching Dolby Atmos.
Well, like the THX starts, it's like,
dude, like the floor shakes with the Dolby. So I'm always like, oh shit, are we good?
Yeah. So I was actually in my office on the ground floor because I live in the house, and Sydney was chilling on the bed on the third floor of our house, and I just hear Sydney going, "Gone," and I'm just like, I didn't know it was an earthquake going on, so I was just like taking my time with it. I'm like, let me finish this piece of work, and I'll just like casually stroll upstairs, and I see Sydney like just looking shell shocked because Sydney's like really sensitive to like earthquakes and like natural disasters kind of thing. So she's just like, did you feel that? Did you feel that? And I was like, what's going on, Sydney? There was an earthquake, Gun. There was an earthquake, and I was like, was there? Are you sure, Sydney? Are you sure? I like because I didn't feel it at all, right? I didn't feel it at all. And so I was like about to check my phone to see if anyone else had posted about it or anything like that. And then just as I got out my phone, it like the second quake hit, the bigger one, and it started. This one, it didn't like immediately start off strong for me. It like shook a little bit. It shook a little bit. And so it started shaking. And I was like, oh, that's an earthquake. And Sydney was like, huh, yeah, you feel it now, son of a bitch? You feel it now? You feel it fucking now? And then as she finished that, our lights just like turn off.
Right.
And there was just an immediate 180 from, oh, no, come here, please. Come here.
Wait, not so top there, are you?
All it took was the lights going out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, it was actually like pretty surreal for me because it was the first time. I mean, in Thailand, we're like, I'm fucking used to power outages. We have like plenty of lights and everything like that. In here, it was just so surreal seeing just my entire block, basically, my entire town, just like in complete darkness. I think I posted a video of me just like walking around outside my house. I have never seen my street almost in complete darkness. This is freaky as hell. Which, because it was the first time I'd just seen any side of Tokyo just completely dark with some emergency lights on. It was like, it was kind of surreal, right?
Like apocalyptic.
Yeah, kind of apocalyptic, right? So like, because because I thought, why not just take a walk just to see what the city is like.
Take it in.
Yeah, just to see what the city is like when we're going through a disaster like this.
Yeah.
And I think the first time it hit me of just how surreal this was I walk out and, Tokyo was dark. But the point it actually hit me was when I walked to my main road and I could see the Lawsons had its lights out. And I'm just like, holy shit, even the Combini is affected.
That never happens.
This is the first time I've ever seen the fucking Combini just out. And like the employees are in there just like fucking, they couldn't even open the door because like the power for like the automatic door wasn't open. I was like, oh, this is real. I don't know why it was the Combini, just because like I thought no matter what, like a comet could be crashing and like Lawson's would still be like serving.
Yeah, because even when Japan has like the worst typhoon in like the past 10 years, which I think it did like last year or the year before.
2 years ago.
The only thing that was open, the Lawsons.
The Combinis.
The Combinis are all open,
thick and thin. Yeah. So that was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time it was surreal for me because it was also surreal just seeing which parts of the grid were still supported. So actually, like, because I had to walk around, so like, it was some traffic lights were working and some weren't. So that was weird.
Traffic lights weren't working.
Yeah, some of the traffic lights weren't working, right? But I think they must have prioritized the more busier intersections, right? Because all the big intersections were working, but some of the smaller ones weren't working.
I always thought that the road lights and stuff were on a separate thing entirely from the normal power.
Well, they might have like a backup system.
Yeah, they normally do, because obviously the last thing you want is no
traffic lights.
No traffic lights.
Yeah, and there was actually a traffic accident like near where
that's not surprising at all.
Yeah, near where I was. I think might have been because of that. But like the only thing that was actually lit was the train stations. Actually, the train stations had everything working. The elevators were still working and everything, even though everything else was like pitch black.
That wasn't the only thing that was lit on. I was having a great time in Akihabara. I was having a whale of a time. I was in the basement,
right?
In some anime song bar. We went in there. There's a bunch of Japanese men singing Macross songs,
nice,
with a bunch of very young-looking girls.
Okay.
So we went in there and we were just having a good time. I sang.
You were like, man, I'm fucking lighting this place on fire, man.
I was singing Colors. Jinboo.
And then everyone clapped.
Must have thought like the bass of your voice was just like so strong that it was shaking the entire building.
I did JoJo as well. So
yeah, I mean, everyone in that bar was like, "Oh, they got Dolby Atmos here." Holy shit!
It was so funny. When it came, I was with the guys I did the wrestling video with. He was like, "Oh, there's an earthquake just now." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." And then 10 seconds later, the second one that was bigger started like shaking, and we were all like, "Yeah!" We were all drunk. Joe. And then but we were in the basement. And it was shaking, but it wasn't like that bad. Like that's why initially I was quite shocked when I was getting texts, a bunch of texts, people being like, sorry, that scared me. I was like, ghosts,
earthquake.
That's why I was quite shocked when I was getting so many texts from people being like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like, what? Like,
well, weirdly enough, you don't feel it when you're underground. You feel it when you're really up high, right?
Yeah. I mean, you feel it more at least.
Yeah, you feel it way more when you're up high.
Yeah, I mean, it was alright. It was good. Did you get a lot of people who don't live in Japan, who aren't used to earthquakes, messaging you? Being,
oh yeah, of course.
Oh my god, are you okay?
After the round of like people living in Japan tweets that I saw, I started to get like 17 messages from people all over the world because once it hit the mainstream, like international news.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's like I get it because like how could you know the severity of it? But I think if I'm tweeting about it, it probably
means I'm okay.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's worse for like someone like Chris, right? Because he was living right next to it. Like I can't imagine how strong the earthquake was for him.
It hit really hard.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've never been in an earthquake where a lot of stuff has literally just like gone on the floor and started smashing. Because I think I don't know why I'm oddly calm during an earthquake, and I remember like
I like it. You see what I mean? It's good.
I wouldn't say I like it, right? But it's like I remember like because I remember seeing Aki's video of that she took, and I related to Joey. So because of course me and Joey sharing the same brain cell, but I remember relating to Joey so hard, just seeing Aki just like freaking out, going to the bed, and Joey just sitting with like stone cold face on the couch, which is just like experiencing the world ending around him, and Joey's just, this is fine. It was literally just the "this is fine" face.
Joey.
That was 2 earthquakes.
It was a level 6 just
Yeah,
hit
that was a level 6.
Fukushima.
the one that got memed a lot online was like afterwards it started to like really shake, right? And so Aki ran to the other side of the house, like to the bed, because like we always go to the bedroom because there's nothing in our bedroom other than our bed, right? So there's like we don't have any worry about things like falling on us and stuff like that. So we go to the bed. She's like calling out to me. I'm like, why the fuck are you calling out to me? You're the one that left me behind. She like bolts into the bed. She's like, Joey, where are you? And I'm like, what do you mean? You left me in the living room. And so there's just this footage of me just like casually strolling in with a hand on my hip, being like, oh, 2 earthquakes.
Oh, fucking sick.
Yeah. And people like, Joey just as a Chad, just like walking in, like dad pose, like hand on his hip, just like, I think someone said like, why does he look like a dad that's like waiting for like an argument to finish? It's just like, but to be fair, in my defense, I was surprised because I looked way calmer in that video than I actually was. Because I think in those kinds of situations,
Which
like,
earthquake was this?
The one that happened yesterday.
Oh, you had a video of it?
Yeah. Aki filmed it. Yeah,
I haven't seen this video.
Yeah, Aki filmed it, and yeah, I think I was surprised because I was like, oh, I look way calmer than I actually was. Because in my inside, I was like, oh fuck, this is like really long. Also, I was worried about my grandma because she lives up north, right? So I was like trying to text her and stuff, but out of context, it just looks like me just fucking standing there, just like waiting for this earthquake to end. Like, come on,
end already,
fuck.
I really want to go in one of those like. I know they had it in like Takeshi's Castle. They had the challenge where you had to like sit in like the Japanese tatami room.
Yeah.
And it's on one of those earthquake simulation things.
Oh yeah.
And they have to like try and sit on the platform without falling over while it's like magnitude 9. I really want to go on one.
I've been on one of those.
Oh, dude, that
sounds fun.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
I did a video at like the emergency center type of thing in Japan, and like where you get to experience like a house fire and like an earthquake and stuff like that, and they have one of those things. And I tried it on magnitude 9, which is the same as the 2011 earthquake.
Right,
dude, it's crazy. Like,
what does it feel like?
It just feels like 4 guys are just surrounding you, just doing this. Like you, you can't even like. I was sitting down, like legs crossed. I was sitting down, and like after the first shake, like I was like lying flat.
Shit.
Like you cannot even like lie down straight. Like it's so fucking intense. And so it really like went to sleep. Like, you know, when you hear magnitude 9, right, you're like, oh fuck, that seems really big. But I think like actually experiencing magnitude 9 is another level.
Isn't it exponential?
Yeah, I think they just like whoever designed the Richter scale really like fucked up by making it a logarithmic scale, because it's not linear, right? So it's like by
it's logarithmic. No, do you mean exponential?
I think that's the same thing.
I think
right?
logarithmic is exponential.
It's the inverse of exponential.
Is it?
So logarithmic means that it goes like this, and then exponential means it goes like this.
Okay, I might be wrong.
Okay,
Think of, so
I just wanted to say logarithmic.
One of them's like this.
To make myself sound smart.
Logarithmic, exponential.
I'm gonna Google this right now.
Which one is
logarithmic? Means that it peak, like the gains that you see are initial, and then it starts flattening out. Whereas exponential is the opposite. Oh, it is logarithmic.
Thank you. Okay.
But you were trying to explain exponential. You said the right word, but you were saying the wrong thing.
No, what I'm saying is
we're professionals.
Exponential is kind of also logarithmic kind of.
It's the inverse of a logarithm.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know because like
it's the opposite.
I don't know, man.
Either
way, it's not it's not linear.
It's not linear. It's in a scale. Yes, Ashley.
Logarithmic functions are the inverses of exponential functions.
So how is?
So wait, so Richter scale is logarithmic?
Richter scale is logarithmic.
So that means that it would after like 4 or 5, the difference isn't much.
That can't be right.
No.
It goes up this way. Yeah. Exponential goes up this way.
No,
it
doesn't. Hence the word exponential. It goes exponentially higher.
This kind of just This kind of just proves my point. The point. No.
A bunch of wrong things. I think I'm right.
No. The original point I was trying to make was that they put it in a scale that is not comprehensible by the normal human person, which we are literally proving right now. You know, like you hear like an 8 or 9 on the Richter scale, and you're just like, oh, that's just 1 up from a 7. And I've seen people survive 7s, but your mind can't comprehend the effects, like the tangible effects of just how much larger that is, you know. That's why I think they fucked up, because if you hear like, oh, it was on a scale of like 1,000 on like this earthquake scale, you're like, that's a big number compared to 100, which is what we're technically talking about when we're talking going up from magnitude 7 to a magnitude 8, right?
Yes.
And I think like I don't know why we went with a logarithmic scale for like disasters when the normal person can't comprehend that amount of difference with just one number, you know?
True.
Oh, yeah, I mean, can't even comprehend what logarithmic and exponential are. So how's he going to comprehend?
I think any one of us can.
I can. I know what it is. I just explained. Yeah, I know I'm right. This is insane.
But the Richter scale is a logarithmic scale.
It's logarithmic? Yeah, so that means that there wouldn't be much difference between 8 and 9.
But there is.
Well, the scale says that there isn't, Jay.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Is that right? There's not much of a difference between 8 and 9?
I don't know. But how we experience those numbers are all different though. So it's like
I can't wait for the comments to just tear this conversation apart.
Hi, mathematician here.
Hi, mathematician here. I literally had an aneurysm.
I invented the Richter scale.
I'm having an aneurysm.
Technically, it's supposed to indicate an intensity 10 times bigger than the previous number?
Yeah, that's what.
But it's also described as a logarithmic scale, so I don't know. They both seem
that's what I thought. Because I thought like
Let me show you a picture of a logarithmic fucking line.
I know what a logarithmic line is, but it doesn't make sense because I've learned that the Richter scale is the higher the number, the bigger the difference in scale.
Yeah, I thought it was like 10 times the previous number.
Yeah, right.
No, because I mean, I guess it could be, but also because it goes like this, right?
Right.
So let's say this was like 8. If it was 8, like at the peak or something, it's not going to get much better at 9. So increase more. Sorry.
Well, then what? Oh my god, I don't know.
So that's I am confusion.
But also, a logarithmic scale also depends on the function you put into it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because the logarithmic scale doesn't necessarily have to look like that. It's just a
scale that's not linear.
Yeah, it's not just a non-linear scale. It's yeah. So that is a logarithmic.
That can be logarithmic,
and that is also what I understand to be exponential as well. Yeah. That's what I thought.
It's an exponential logarithmic scale.
That's what I thought, at least.
It's an exponential logarithmic.
Yeah.
Oh, because it keeps going up. Okay.
Yeah. So
either
way, my original point wasn't the fact that exponentials are the same as logarithmic. That wasn't what I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain that this shit is...
I'm right.
Either way, I was trying to explain that this shit is too confusing for the normal person to comprehend, which maybe we aren't the normal person. Maybe we're just dumber than a normal person.
Speak for yourself.
Maybe we're just dumber than a normal person.
Bottom line, you could say that the earthquake yesterday was magnitude 7.
Yeah.
But if you've never been in an earthquake of that magnitude, you're not going to fucking know what that feels like, right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys have never been in a magnitude 7. Yesterday was a magnitude, like, 4 max in Tokyo.
Yeah, and like that's fun zone for me.
Yeah.
I think 6 sounds scary.
6. Yeah. I wonder how big the one in LA was that we experienced.
I want to say that was probably around the same, like maybe like a magnitude 4.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. It wasn't that
felt
bad.
around
well, it
the same.
depended. Like where we were, it didn't feel that bad.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine what it is like, even if it goes like, if it's like 10 times more powerful than that.
I mean, I've been in a 6 is the biggest one I've been.
America has the most volcanoes in the world.
Does it?
Not active, but total volcanoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Just Hawaii?
The whole thing. Well, I think Hawaii has a lot of active ones.
Right.
But in general, America's a lot.
More than Japan?
Yeah, more volcanoes than Japan.
Wow. I thought Japan had the most.
No.
Maybe Japan has the most active ones?
No, that's Indonesia.
Never mind.
I think that is Indonesia.
Japan can't be number 1 for everything.
America also has like a massive landmass.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not like surprised about
America
that.
has the most volcanoes that like aren't active. Like they're just they like don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then they have like Yellowstone, which is like a ticking time bomb for extinction. You know, that's I mean, it kind of is, right? If Yellowstone ever explodes, then humanity fucks.
Well, same with Mount Fuji, right?
Yeah, I think as well. There's if any volcanoes erupt in the Antarctic, I think there's some volcanoes underneath the ice.
Yeah.
And if they explode,
then Antarctica's just gone.
Yeah.
Well, the world's gone. That water's got to go somewhere, Jerry.
It doesn't just like go out into space.
No, it doesn't. Unfortunately,
turns into rain.
Gravity's really good at keeping that shit in.
Yeah, which like, because yesterday made me wonder. Like, it made me appreciate just how prepared are you for a disaster, right? Because
Vsauce music.
Huh?
Vsauce
music, right?
Well, we're in the penultimate episode of Earth, I think, right now.
You think?
This is like penultimate episode kind of vibes.
Wait, well, hold on, but like
we got a war going on. We got global warming with the pandemic. The Earth shaking, trying to rip itself apart.
Right.
We're
the minds were off by a few years. You know when you have when it's like the disaster movie and you have the beginning, the Act 1, where you have all of the indicators that the world is ending, but nobody pays attention to it. I believe like 2020 has like literally been that indicator IRL.
Quick, take a shot of the seismograph. Going crazy. Get that on film.
Yeah, because like I remember like when the lights went out and I was walking around, I was like, okay, if this was like...
That's the title of the movie, When the Lights Went Out.
When the lights went out. When we lost power. I was just like... it made me think, what if this was like actually just, a super, super serious earthquake and like the power would be out for a time when I didn't know when they would be back on, and
you'd be fine because you have the Giga Chad fucking battery,
which is just like, which is just like I kind of realized how much foreshadowing of I'm going to call it foreshadowing, right? Because it's basically a Chekhov's gun at this point of items I have collected thanks to Trash Taste that would help me through a disaster, right? So the first thing I realized is our house was the only house in our streets with any lights on. And that's because I had my fucking brick of a power bank that I had accidentally bought for the camping episode. Which, if you need a flashback, you can here's a thumbnail of the clip of me talking about the brick that I bought by accident for the camping episode.
But it wasn't by accident.
But it was. I didn't know it wasn't by accident. Like the script,
he foresaw what was going to happen.
The script writers for Trash Taste is just like on another level. Like they foreshadowed this like 2 seasons ago.
Oda Eiichiro is writing Gaunt's life.
So like I remember the lights being off and me thinking, fuck, I do not have any torches or any sources of power. Wait a minute. And I remember I thought I'd never ever actually be able to use it for the use that it was intended for. And luckily I had just charged it like a week before. So like we just plugged, we could literally just plug in our lamps and we just lit up like our bedroom like it was normal.
Plug in your entire house.
Yeah, we could charge our phones and everything. But like beyond that, I was also thinking, what if this was a natural apocalypse and we needed to survive for, a bit longer. And I remember, do we have a good supply of water or supplies to emergency rations to get us through the day? And I was like, wait a minute. I just bought an entire, me and Sydney both have an entire fridge full of green tea that we bought as like an aesthetic thing for our streams, right? So if you've seen any of my streams or any of my on-camera shots, there's a mini fridge that I have, and that's just full of green tea that could last me for a decent amount of time. And beyond that, I also have a backup, just like an entire crate full of green tea, so I can like constantly refill this up. So unknowingly, just from trying to make something look aesthetic in my background, I'm able to like just survive.
You're pissing so much though.
I'm able to survive. And not only that, I'm just like, do we have any food to be able to like last us? I'm like, Sydney's got like 10 months worth of Boxus just lying about. So thanks to Boxu, we also have emergency rations as well.
I've got like an emergency kit.
Yeah, so do I.
Got like quite a lot of water.
You got quite a lot of water?
I've got like that bottle of water that lasts like 4 years or whatever it is.
What?
Yeah, there's like emergency water that Japan makes where it's like water that supposedly lasts like 4 or 5 years.
Emergency water?
What do you mean it would last 4 or 5 years?
It's like been specifically made so that it doesn't go off.
Water can go off?
Yeah, water can go off.
What?
I'm still going to drink that shit.
Well, yeah, water can get stagnant and collect bacteria and stuff, but like they have like special, like it's like AQC it's called in Japan.
Well, I've got like, I don't know, like 10 liters of water or something.
Can bottled water go off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a while, like after like a year or something.
I mean, you can still drink it. Like,
you can still drink it,
you'll
but
be fine. You'll be fine. I've got like a bunch of food. I've got a wind-up torch. Got some other shit.
Wait, so you actually have an emergency kit?
Yeah.
When did you buy it?
There's some on Amazon.
Yeah.
I just bought one.
Aki made one for a video. For me.
I thought, if I don't use it, I'll just whatever. And I looked into it. I was like, oh, should I get one of those solar panel battery charging things? Turns out they're like a lot of bullshit and they like barely work. So I was like, oh, and then someone was like, just get a wind up torch. It's like way better. I got a wind up torch.
Just get the fucking brick shit house battery pack. They can't.
Yeah, but like you got to keep that thing fully charged. Right? If it's in my cupboard for like 12 months, it might have half the charge by the time I go to it.
Yeah, but half the charge could probably still last you like 6 months.
Oh,
I'm actually probably going to get like an emergency pack now because I never really thought about it before. Before yesterday, it did humble me a bit. Just even though you were fully prepared, even though I am prepared in many ways, thanks to Trash Taste and Trash Taste lore and just being a content creator. I didn't purposely prepare for it, but
sorry, go on.
But I mean, I just have a lot of things lying in my house that is useful for survival.
Do you ever watch those videos that are like, what to do if there's a nuke?
Oh yeah.
You're like, all right.
You mean like the lie down with your mouth open kind of thing? Do you know that one?
What's that one? Hold on, tell me this.
Apparently, I saw a video. I don't know how true it is, but apparently it's like what to do if a nuke explodes, like not close enough where it can like immediately kill you, but it's like if like the shockwave could like possibly kill you. And apparently, I don't know if this is true, so please take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to supposedly lie down with your like head facing away from the blast, and you have to have your mouth open, because if your mouth is closed, then the shockwave can puncture your lungs. But if the mouth is open, then it lets the air escape from your mouth. Supposedly, that's like a trick that people have just figured out. Again,
mouth breathers rejoice.
We were talking about
mouth breathers rejoice.
We were talking about useless skills, right? I know that little useless skill.
That is,
or it could come very useful.
That is a piece of knowledge you see in one life hack on a YouTube short, and then you immediately forget about it.
Actually, I wouldn't forget that. That's very memorable.
Yeah, I remember. And again, I don't know how true this is. I've never personally experienced anything like that, so I haven't tested it myself.
So if I see a nuke going off, I lie down on the ground.
So say if it's coming out from that window over there, you would face that way.
How the fuck would you... Calculations. Oh shit.
You'd like kind of have your head down and you'd like open your mouth so that the shockwave can go through your body, rather than because if it's closed, then it gets closed off and then your lungs get punctured. Right? Oh, it's still gonna hurt, but it won't kill you. Is the thing.
Oh, God.
I feel like if a nuke's going off, your life's pretty fucked anyway. Right?
Well, I mean, if you're close enough, yeah. Obviously.
I think you have like.
I don't think anyone who was like, "Oh, here's the nuke."
Right, here's the nuke. Hold on, guys. I got it.
Open your mouths, guys. Trust me.
Like the next Indiana Jones, he just fucks the fridge and he just turns around and with his mouth open.
No, he's like in the fridge and he's like, "Oh fuck." I forgot.
That only works. The only reason the fridge technically worked, right, is because it's a lead fridge, right? They don't make lead fridges anymore.
No, they don't.
So I can imagine a bunch of people jumping in their fridges, and it's like it's not going to do anything. You just put yourself in a coffin.
Yeah, basically.
You just made it.
You're just going to cook yourself alive. Yeah.
So it was like they were saying so you have 15 minutes when the nuke goes off if you're not in the immediate danger zone.
Yeah.
You have 15 minutes before like the fallout reaches the ground level.
Yeah.
So you need to get indoors within 15 minutes and not leave.
Right.
But you still might be dead from the radiation.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously, if you get any fallout on you, I think you die.
Yeah, probably.
Radiation sickness sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Really, dude, Chernobyl, man. That HBO series was like rough.
Well, it wasn't just that. I think the one thing that really horrified me was hearing about that Japanese guy who was like, I think he was like the most radioactive person who ever lived.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, it's like I
remember seeing this.
I saw a documentary on it.
Is this the one on the fisherman? Is this that one?
I don't think it was a fisherman.
Oh, okay.
He was working for, I believe, a nuclear power plant or something like that. So, for what I don't know the full story, but for whatever reason, during a routine maintenance thing with when he was handling radioactive material, they made a mistake due to like time constraints and trying to get this project done faster than usual. So they were pouring way more radiation material into this tank than was ever allowed by regulations, right? And obviously a chain reaction happened, something went wrong, and this guy who was literally standing right next to the tank pouring in this radioactive material, he got hit by the full blast of this chemical reaction that was happening, right? So he was literally the most radioactive person who has ever been documented in history, right?
Damn.
And it's like a fucking horrific story of like, he actually survived it initially, right? He survived it initially, and they went to hospital, and on the first day, he looked so well that the nurses were like ready to discharge him the next day. That is until they like looked at his like DNA, and his DNA had been obliterated, like
Jesus,
like fucking obliterated, right? And I don't think like anyone at that point realized the gravity, aside from like the doctors, of course, realized the gravity of just like what was in store for this guy. Because like it got to the point where, because his cells could not make new cells, right? So it got to the point where the doctors were trying to save him because his family and himself wanted, to try everything they could. But I feel like it would have been less painful just to let him pass away. Because it got to this point where his body just started deteriorating. His skin would fall off and would start bleeding and pussing, and they could do nothing but just bandage him up because there was no way for his body to make new cells, and he basically just deteriorated to death. And it's like you hear about the accounts of this, and it sounds like fucking
that's probably the worst way.
Sounded horrific. It sounds like one of the worst ways to die.
I was thinking of a different story of like the guy who was like living in Hiroshima during World War II, and then when the bomb dropped, right, and he survived that one. And
yeah, I know
he
this
escaped with his family out of Hiroshima to Nagasaki. And then the second bomb dropped, and he survived that one as well. I thought you were talking about that story.
Oh, no.
I think
he must have been pretty fucking radioactive after that.
Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I remember hearing that there's more. It was not just him. There's a few other people as well, but they reckon that maybe 100 or so people had the same experience.
Yeah.
But they just don't know who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Just like thinking about
Shivers.
it. But,
so there's a YouTuber, I can't remember his name. He talks about a lot of these radiation stories and mistakes and stuff. I can't remember his name. He does the science videos as well. Fuck, I can't remember his name. They're really, really good.
Right.
And is there some other horrible stories about like people doing experiments that went wrong?
There was that other story. I think I know which YouTube you're talking about.
The guy with the amazing hair.
Yeah, did he make that video on the guy who like stuck his head in the Hadron Collider?
Yeah. So yeah, but
and he got like shot.
It wasn't
by, like,
a Hadron
plasma,
Collider, but it was I think a similar ish thing. Yeah, he got shot by an atom. In the head,
and it like penetrated his brain, and he survived it. But yeah, and then there was some like mix up where they thought he was alive.
He has like amazing hair. He's got like a lion's mane. This guy's amazing.
Not the guy who got shot. The guy who makes the YouTube videos.
I was about to say, like, is this
Kyle Hill?
Is this some new kind of like therapy to give you like amazing hair? Just get shot by an atom. Shot by.
Are you experiencing hair loss? Boom.
You've definitely seen this thumbnail. It's called The Demon Core. Have you seen this one?
Oh, yeah.
That one's a good video.
Yeah.
That was a horrible story there as well. People fucking around with this thing, and then it goes wrong, and then like all the scientists die. It was this like nuclear active core.
It's always nuclear.
Yeah, of course.
And it was, I can't remember exactly what it was. Watch the video. It's really good. And it was just talking about the story, and there's really, really strange. Sometimes you just think like, why? Just leave it. Just don't.
What happened with the guy who got shot by an atom?
I think he survived.
Did he survive?
He survived, but then he unsurprisingly developed these like really weird like brain traumas, and like I think he
survived. He definitely survived.
Yeah, he survived. He survived for a while, I believe, but like he lost all of his hair, and then he just had all these like weird brain complications that the doctors were like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this.
He's currently 79 years old and living.
79 years old and living. Okay. What a fucking badass title. Got shot by an atom.
Yeah. So we know that 100% of the time, as we know, when you put a head in a
Hadron Collider,
you survive. We have a 100% survival rate. We know that. We know.
I'll fucking stick my head in there like tomorrow.
Jump in the Hadron Collider real quick.
I think there's been other cases as well. People get the what's the thing that powers X-rays? I think there's like something. There was one case. I don't know if it was X-ray exactly, but there's a medical device.
Yeah.
And some people broke into an abandoned hospital.
Right.
And like stole this thing.
Right.
And they just thought it was some kind of like cool glowing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out that cool glowing thing was like radioactive, like uranium or something. And I could be mixing up two stories together here. It's on his channel as well. And really weird.
And now they're the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think like the whole. Might be a different story actually, but like the whole village, they were like, everyone come check out the glowing stone.
Oh no.
No joke, no joke. And people were all touching it and playing with it. And like a whole family and a few other people died because they were just touching and playing with the stone.
Fucking hell.
Let me peek.
All right.
Don't ever touch glowing stones, kids.
If it's glowing, that's probably a bad sign that a chemical reaction is happening there that you shouldn't be holding, right?
Curse glow sticks. Curse glow sticks are making us think that things that glow are so cool. God damn it. This video is sponsored by Boxu. Boxu here is a monthly snack box subscription service that delivers premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings straight from Japan to your door. Every single beautiful Boxu here has their very own gourmet theme that changes every single month. The first Boxu that you will receive is called the Seasons of Japan, curated by their snack experts to bring you a taste of Japan's 4 seasons and taste what a year of Boxu would be like. Following the Seasons of Japan, you will receive a new beautiful snack box just like this one, themed every single single month. And this theme is Tanjobi, which if you don't know in Japanese just means birthday. And there is snacks in this book from every single part of Japan. I've had these before, which are delicious, and a bunch of these I've had before, but some of these I've never seen before. And of course, there's a tea pairing with it. So if you want to try some of the authentic Japanese snacks in here and support me and the boys, you can do so right now. Just smash that link in the description down below, and when you're there, use coupon code TRASHTASTE15 to get $15 off your first Boxu order.
Do you guys reckon you could survive the zombie apocalypse?
No.
Although maybe.
Bro, they got Uber Eats still going? If not, no, I'm out. What's the point? What's the point, dude?
It is, but he's also a zombie.
Yeah.
It's like,
like, do you want to survive a zombie apocalypse?
I don't know. I don't know.
It depends where you are, right? Like, if you're in an area that's just like, you're the only one remaining, there's just zombies fucking clawing at your apartment or whatever, then it's just like, just take
at that point, I'm just like, okay, well, it's just the world's fucked anyway, you know, whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like a zombie apocalypse wouldn't be that hard to survive.
That's what I'm like. That's my biggest, like, unless it depends on the type of zombie, right? Because if you're talking about like the traditional, really slow fucking zombie that fucking walks at like 1 mile an hour, I'm just like, how did this become an apocalypse in the first place? How are people this incompetent that this became an actual apocalypse?
It's because in all those movies, they're just like, no, don't come near, while they're standing still, right? It's like, no.
If it's 28 days later, all right. Now I get how it can become a fucking.
If we're like talking like COD zombies, then it's like, yeah, I'm fucked.
But I feel like, you know how like some of the movies they manage to make like villages that are like really tall walls and no one can get in and stuff. I feel like that would be.
If I've learned anything from Dead Rising, it's just stay at a mall.
Yeah. Hit them with a foam bat. Combine it with a chainsaw.
Hit him with a bench.
Put the machine guns on the wheelchair. And then drive the wheelchair.
I feel like, you know, I feel like if a zombie apocalypse ever did happen, that's the one place where, you know, being in America would be a massive fucking advantage. Because you think about how easy it is to gain access to weapons here in Japan.
Until the zombies learn about those and they're like, we can use this too.
I thought you were going to be like, because you can just go to like North Dakota and there's no one there.
Oh, that's true. That's
Escape to Wyoming.
Oh, you're in Idaho? Oh, zombies actually don't want to go there.
Yeah. They're like, go to the border. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's the one place where if you have a gun, it will be like very, very useful.
Sure.
Like, yeah, but I mean,
you're assuming guns will stop zombies.
Exactly.
That is true. That is true.
Because like games have led us to believe that it's like, do you want to kill a zombie? Just get good at headshots. But it's like, realistically, will it actually kill a zombie?
How much ammo can you really get a hold of? You know, Resident Evil got one thing right. It'd be fucking annoying to be like conserving your ammo with this shit.
Actually, I would be that guy. I would be that guy where you have.
Oh my God, shoot it! God's like, no, sorry, man, I got 4 bullets.
I wouldn't be like, a zombie could be right in front of me, and I'd be like searching for like an axe or something. Be like, I don't need to shoot a zombie. I don't need to shoot a zombie. You know, maybe I'll need this ammo for like the boss battle, whatever that
Katana
is, you know?
collection boys are winning. That's for sure.
I would do anything I could, even if I had a gun, to not use a gun, just in case.
Hold on, I gotta go back to the safe room to like buy my bullets.
Apocalypse. Probably, honestly, the best thing you could probably have is just having a medieval set of armor and weapons.
Yeah, like a sword.
How the fuck are they going to bite you?
Yeah,
when you're wearing a full like chainmail and you've got a big ass long sword. I think you're good. I think you're good. Those chads on YouTube, the ones you're talking about, the correct sword techniques, they're going to be the real winners.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've always like struggled to figure out, right? Like the video game logic of just shoot them in the head and it'll stop them. And I'm like, but they're dead already. Why would they die like a normal human being?
I mean, I don't know. It depends how the zombies function.
Yeah,
right.
If it's a parasite taking over the body.
Yeah, we're talking about fake science now. Could be any sort of reason or any sort of way to kill a zombie.
If you have a fucking katana or something and you just like, chop their body into bits, then they can't do anything, right? Even if they're still alive.
You gonna chop someone's body into bits, Joe? You know how long that's gonna take?
How long is it gonna take for one zombie, Joe?
You're gonna be knackered.
This is a zombie apocalypse, Joe.
I take him out one at a time,
Joe's gonna need to sit down and have a breather when he's done.
It's like, hold on, guys.
Joey thinks the katana works like it does in anime, where he just like does like the fucking sword thing, and like the zombies in 100 pieces.
That's true. You're right. You know what? Guns.
A flamethrower is pretty good, right?
Flamethrower, yeah.
Is a flamethrower an actual good weapon, or is it just like an aesthetic weapon?
It's a very good weapon. It's a waste of money, but I mean, if you if you hit someone with it, they die. Can't.
But wouldn't
I know that, but
yeah, but wouldn't the fuel for a flamethrower be more scarce than bullets?
Yeah, surely there's more effective weapons, and like it looks cool and it's effective, but surely there's more efficient weapons, I should say, than a flamethrower.
It's like wildly inefficient, but like if you hit someone, I think with it, I think they just because like the ones that like I think like Elon Musk sells, for example, that's basically just like a hairspray with a lighter.
Yeah.
But I think the original ones in like World War II were like they would actually shoot out oil on fire.
Yeah.
Because you could see the streams of liquid.
Yeah,
so they would land and hit.
Like
and obviously, if you get hit with that, that's just gonna like burn through.
Of course, but like what I'm trying to say is you have two guys. One person has a flamethrower. One person has a gun. I think the person with the gun is going to come out of that battle, right?
Yeah, but you're not fighting. You're fighting a zombie.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
I feel like your goal is to make it so the zombie can't move. What a weird topic. I feel like your goal, because you don't even know if you can kill it. What if the gun doesn't work?
What if the zombie doesn't feel the heat?
But what if you burn off like his legs?
But you could just chop off his legs as well.
Are you going to chop off his legs?
I don't know.
Are you going to be hacking away? How long is that going to take?
Joey's just living like the anime dream of like using his katana now.
I just want to be Kirito, okay? I admit it.
Listen, if you
I just want to come out and fucking do this.
If you just
Joey wants to like dual wield the sword.
If you just burned off his arms and legs, he wouldn't be able to move.
I just want to be guts. Okay, what about like chainsaw then?
Yeah, that's pretty
I feel that'd be more.
Gears of War's probably got that right.
Yeah.
Also, but I wonder. No. Yeah, I wonder if like bones would like clog a chainsaw or do anything. Probably not, because I think trees are stronger than bones. I think.
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we don't build houses out of bones, gone.
Well, that's because we don't farm. We don't really farm bones, do we?
Yes.
We don't have a forest full of bones that we can farm and build houses out.
That sounds like an aesthetic. Build a house out of bones, dude. That sounds fucking badass. That's like a Tim Burton movie.
That's what you can do, right? In the zombie apocalypse, you collect the limbs and you just take the bones out and just make a house out of it. There you go, problem solved. Recycling in the zombie apocalypse.
The one thing the zombies can't penetrate, a house full of bones.
Because they'll be like, oh, you're just one of us with a few extra bones. I'm not going to go near that.
Yeah, I think in some countries as well, you're not allowed to fill up a gas canister as well. I think it's illegal. So you wouldn't be able to get a stockpile of gas.
Because it turns into a weapon?
Normally it is when the government is concerned that your population might be making weapons.
Right.
Oh,
cocktails,
okay.
Molotov cocktails,
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But
will they care during a zombie apocalypse is the question.
No, true. But
they're not going to be
like step number one, you've got to get a container. And number two, you're probably not going to be the first guy at the gas station. Let's be honest.
That's true.
We've seen it when gas prices, when we hear about gas shortages, everyone goes.
Yeah.
It's already too late. But I guess that's the first thing you should do in any apocalypse. You should immediately go to the gas place and get it. I don't even have a car, but I'm getting the gas.
Yeah, I'm getting gas.
Because I know I'm going to be king when people want gas. I'm like, well, I can give you it. And I have 4 tanks in the back.
That's true.
I'm like covered in like fucking black smut.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because like I feel like part of the reason why it's so hard to get people to take action over I don't know, like real life apocalypses that could be happening right now is because real life apocalypses sound so fucking boring. The temperature of the Earth slowly changing by a few degrees every year, and we need to do the best to it. Like that sounds so boring. Like compared to like we're being invaded by a horde of zombies, and only you can take them on with it.
Global warming is the least sexy apocalypse.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let's be honest.
The Chad versus like
everyone likes the zombie thing because they think that they're going to become the Chad who games the system, becomes the king.
Because it's all in video games, right? Like, when have you heard of a fucking video game where you have to fight global warming?
Maybe we need that. We need that. We need that in real life.
Let's be honest, right? I think in a zombie apocalypse, you're going to die from another person, not a zombie.
The people who made Dead Rising just need to make like Heat Rising.
Right now.
Something like that.
You go to prison for 20 years if you kill someone. And people still do it. In a zombie apocalypse, there's not going to be any punishment. People are going to start killing everyone.
That's true.
Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that one guy who pissed me off on the train. I'm going to go find him.
Yeah. I feel during a zombie apocalypse, everyone's just going to be so on edge that you're probably going to get killed by another human before you get killed by a zombie.
There's no way anyone would admit to being bitten. Like I thought everyone who didn't admit to being bitten in a zombie movie was the asshole. But in reality, we've been through a pandemic now. That's just like most of the human race at this point.
Yeah,
like if you got it, like
you also probably have to kill other people as well.
Yeah, of course.
If you want to get their stuff.
Of course.
I'm just saying.
It's just a battle royale now.
If Fortnite has taught me anything, kill them.
If that old grandma has a full supply of water and food, I'm sorry.
Right, Zoomers are ready. The Zoomers are ready, man. Fortnite has trained them how to kill.
Just order up the fucking house in 2 minutes.
The apocalypse happens, and you just hear with like,
dude, we're fucked. We live in like Japan. The last person you ever go against in a video game is like 16-year-old Asian kids because they're just insane. We'll be killed.
Sure.
They're like challenger rank, and we're like trying to figure out what's going on, and they've already built a fortress.
They've been perfectly trained by Fortnite and Minecraft to build the perfect fortress.
Unironically, these kids would have somewhat of an understanding of basic survival needs because of Minecraft.
Yeah, more than us, right? You're actually right. That's sad to think about.
Oh my god!
They know how to craft all the materials.
It's not good, but it offers something.
Yeah, it offers something.
They at least know that coal can be turned into charcoal.
Yeah,
that's useful to know.
Because talking about going back to useless skills, like I think I feel like I should know more survival skills than I do. No, you shouldn't. Why?
I mean, I've seen you.
God, you're like, please.
I've seen you try to start a fire with a piece of flint. That didn't go well.
That's why I feel like I need to learn more survival skills than I already do.
Would you ever get a bunker? Like a bunker in your house?
Like a bomb bunker?
Yeah, like a shelter.
That'd be cool.
But if you're like traveling a bunch for your work, it's useless.
Yeah, it is. But it's just cool, you know. I wouldn't want a bunker for emergencies. I would just want a bunker because it's just cool to have like a secret bunker.
You've seen that guy on YouTube who's building one?
Yeah.
First?
Yeah.
He's built like a whole bunker underneath his house.
Yeah, underneath his garden. Right?
There's actually one company in Japan that can build bunkers.
How much is a bunker?
It's like it depends on the size, but it's like $50,000 or something.
Can we build a bunker?
If you have
trash taste
bunker.
Trash taste emergency bunker.
God, we need land.
Yeah, you need the land.
We don't have land, God. None of us own land.
Buy the land first, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yet.
That's what I'm gonna do. If I ever buy land in the future here, I'm like, fuck the house, build a bunker first.
Honestly, there's just something about the idea of building a bunker that just like no matter how old you are, it just fulfills like this childhood dream.
It's like a treehouse. Right?
It's kind of like the next level treehouse, right?
It's kind of like exciting. It's like your kind of place.
Yeah, it's like a secret base, right?
Yeah, just imagine.
Wait, what's the difference between a basement and a bunker?
Huh?
A basement is just like an underground, like I think a bunker is supposed to be like secured.
Yeah, it's supposed to be secure. You can survive there. You know, a basement is just a room.
There's tons of basements in London. It's like 3-story.
But they're not bunkers.
But they're not bunkers.
But like, if they're like 3 levels deep, which some of these basements are.
Well, when I think of a bunker,
if you're a 3 level deep.
Maybe you can
right?
Maybe you can convert that into a bunker, but when I think bunker, I don't just think a room. You know, I think like a sizable amount of secret space that's secure.
I think like the only way to get in is through a hatch. You know, like that's what I think when I think bunker.
Yeah, right.
Not like a welcome to the bunker.
Open the plywood door.
That's not a bunker, you
know. Move the ethnic looking beads out of the way to get into the room, the bunker.
Place the book in the bookshelf.
I really want a basement. I just want to have a basement.
I want a bunker.
No, you want a basement.
Did you ever have like a tree house or anything like that as a kid growing up?
Who the fuck had a tree house?
That's what I'm saying.
No one had a tree house.
A tree house was this mythical thing that some kids talked about, but I'd never known a single person who had a tree house.
My friend had a tree house.
Yeah, because
he had a tree house?
Because there's always that one kid who's that one dad who's like never tired after work and actually wants to do shit and he actually gets shit done.
No, it was the one dad that worked from home.
Oh,
okay. It was the one dad that worked from home.
Checks out.
Also, the construction dads.
Yep.
That
was my dad.
They get shit done.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend had it wasn't like a massive like fucking Simpsons treehouse looking thing. It was literally like enough to maybe fit like 2 5-year-olds in. Like it was very like an adult would not be able to fit in that. Like
why a treehouse? I've always wondered why
it feels like you're one with nature.
Because it's just kind of cool to be able to like sit comfortably.
Those poor trees,
on a tree.
Yeah,
we mock it by taking its own kind and fashioning it into a house and putting it on top of it. How cruel of us! How cruel!
Kind of like building a house out of bones.
No, a dog house. A dog house.
A dog house made out of dog bones. Fucking hell.
Actually kind of true though, isn't it? When you put it like that.
Why do we not have
it's kind of fucked up.
Google, are there any houses made out of bones? Can we fact check that? Tim Burton must have a house made out of bones. I refuse to believe.
If anyone is going to have a house out of bones, it's Tim Burton.
I want to build a bunker now. I just want to build a space.
Right?
I do want a basement. Let's just start off with a basement. Right?
Did you not have a basement?
No, I've never had. No, I've never had a basement.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Going back to another question. I'm ignoring your basement.
Yeah.
Which one of us would survive the longest in a zombie or some kind of apocalypse? Do you think? And why?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I
feel
Garnt would trust someone and be betrayed by them.
I feel you would just be like, I'll be the alpha male and just go out and immediately just get killed.
That's so right. That's so true.
You'd be like, out of the way, boys, I got this. Nah.
I feel like you would come up with like the perfect plan of how to survive the zombie apocalypse.
And then not follow that plan.
And then you'd somehow like overlook something at step 1. Out of confidence or something.
I feel like Jay wouldn't realize the apocalypse is going on.
Yeah. The moment I would realize is
sorry, mate. I was playing Final Fantasy.
the moment when I realize is when you're dead.
Yeah. Guys, I turned up to the dress station. I
was like, where is everyone?
God.
Must be the wrong day.
Garnt's too busy meditating, watching Pokemon.
I'll just escape to my mind palace. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I feel like we have different, varying degrees of survival instincts, but I don't feel any one of our survival instincts is particularly strong either. I mean, I guess maybe we should do a survival special.
I feel the best way to determine how someone would survive in a zombie apocalypse is how they play Dead Rising. Because I think
no, it's not.
Yeah, because it is.
No, it is
because
not.
I feel
You're talking out of your head.
No, because I feel like people who are just like, I'm just gonna fucking pick up something and charge right into the crowd are the people who would not survive a zombie
apocalypse. Like pick up what? A newspaper?
Yeah.
Why would anyone go into a newspaper?
Like, I'm gonna pick up this tennis ball, see how much damage it does to the zombies. That's the kind of person who would just be like, charge.
I don't think anyone's doing that. But I don't know. Like everyone. I don't know what I'd do in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, everyone would
cry.
Like, yeah, just cry.
Just cry.
Just camp and like
break down and cry.
I mean, you just try to stay in like the same place for as long as possible. Right?
I think you'd have to find a sidekick as soon as possible.
A sidekick? Well, like Robin.
Listen, if you're gonna survive, you need to become the main character. How do you become the main character? By getting a sidekick. Right, you get a sidekick.
What, you gonna run around in like the fucking apocalypse town and be like, "Who wants to be my sidekick?" If you like to survive, come with me.
POV, you're just walking around. You're like, all right, a zombie is about to kill this 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You save the kid. You're like, all right, fine, I'll look after you. Now you're the main character.
Yeah, but then you have to take care of a fucking 10-year-old.
Yeah, I mean that obviously is the downside. But then if something happens.
You can just chuck the 10-year-old. You're like, sidekick, do your job.
It's good bait, isn't it?
Because he's only 10 years old, so he doesn't need as much food as a full adult. So then when you can make him go and like look out or something. I don't know.
Right. So just bait.
I think like finding a kid and then making him like do all the tedious tasks. It's probably a good idea.
But what just sounds like a parent at that point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but but also you won't be. You'd get some tangible benefit. But whereas in real life, you don't. He just fucks off and then goes to move to Japan and doesn't contact you for months.
Okay. Not a zombie apocalypse. What if it was like you're in Lost or something?
Okay. Okay.
You're stranded on a desert island. Who would survive the longest?
On a desert island?
Yeah. You're in Lost. You've seen Lost, right?
Probably,
Probably
me because I the most familiar with like
maybe
wildlife and just like dangerous shit.
I'm
just like, that's just the Aussie advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
I would definitely.
All right, dickheads, out of the way.
I would definitely eat something and die. I would get food poisoning.
Yeah, you would get food poisoning. No, it's not an illness. It's not an illness.
I'm not sick.
I'm not sick.
I'm not sick. I can still go out spearfishing.
The one time Connor learns that food poisoning is an illness.
It's a poisoning, God. Hence why it's called food poisoning.
Oh my god.
I see the reason why I think you would have an easier time surviving the zombie apocalypse is because you almost get a tangible benefit from being an asshole.
Yeah.
And being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But in the desert island, you have to actually work together.
Yeah. Because if you're the asshole, then you're the one that's going to be exiled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need as much help as you can get.
Joey's like a few steps ahead where I think you have like a fucking society now.
Well, yeah, of course.
I'm like Lord of the Flies. Like,
I just don't want to be exiled, man. I was thinking about how to start a fucking fire before getting exiled.
To the other side of the island with you.
On a desert island, right? You can't steal people's food or whatever, right? You have to work together.
Yeah.
On a zombie apocalypse, you can just go steal someone's house. Go and
That's true.
Someone's
That's
house.
true.
Sorry, go steal their stuff from their house.
Yeah,
that's true.
You're very limited on an island, right?
Yeah, you got to work together.
You can't really hide on an island.
One of you fishes, one of you doesn't make a fire.
Yeah. And one makes a house full of bones.
This conversation is making me like want to just learn a lot more survival tips and survival instincts that I don't know now because
just drink your own piss.
Have you done that?
Thank you, Bear Grylls.
I do it all the time just to get ready. just in case. You never know.
Just put it through a Brett filter, innit? That'll sort out.
I watched the Survival Man thing. He was like, even if you're on like a raft in the ocean, you should never drink your own piss. It's
really?
Apparently you should never drink your own pee.
Why?
See, like
apparently it's even if you're super dehydrated, apparently it just makes it worse.
But that's so conflicting because it's either everything I've seen about drinking your own piss is either never drink your piss or always drink your piss.
it is true. No, I agree. You know, it's weird. I've actually had the same thought where I'm like, this is so conflicting. 1 minute Bear Grylls is absolutely like smashing his own piss down like it's a beverage.
Would recommend 10 out of 10.
And then there's another time where it's like, absolutely do not drink your own piss ever.
I just wasn't expecting. Oh, you think on like the scale of there should be like a drink pissing scale?
There should be like a middle.
There should be a middle ground on whether we should be drinking piss or not.
There's a lot of misinformation about pee drinking that I think needs to be corrected.
There's never a video that I have seen where the guy's like, you may consider drinking your piss. It's always
like you think under certain circumstances, maybe you should be able to drink piss.
I think it's about filtering it. You need to find a way to filter it. I distinctly remember there's one time where he pissed in a snake. Right?
While it was alive?
Not while it was alive. Not while it was alive. Can you Google this? Well, yeah, I think it was a dead snake that he'd killed. I think, can you Google this? Yeah. And he turned it into like a water sack.
Right.
And I think, I don't know how... I don't know how.
This just sounds like a meme.
This does.
It's like a parody of the Bear Grylls video.
Yeah, and I think it filters it or something somehow, or makes it somewhat edible, or I don't know.
Was it Bear Grylls?
I don't know what
who like used condoms as like a device to hold water, or am I just like?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why that.
Wait, but why would he have condoms?
Oh, Bear Grylls, you come to a desert island with condoms? Oh, have a seat, Bear Grylls. You brought Hard Mike's lemonade and condoms to the deserted island, huh?
Look, now what do we have here? It's the condom tree. I don't know. Just pick a condom off this.
This sounds like a cyanide and happiness skit. I
don't know why I've heard that. Yeah, condoms are just condoms are very useful for holding bodies of water in case you need to survive. I don't know who said that to me, or if it's Bear Grylls or not. But I'm
wasn't that just like a YouTube challenge?
It's gonna be real annoying getting that lube out of that condom, man. Why are we pissing in the snake again? What was the purpose?
To survive.
He said to have required the additional liquid as a last resort for whatever reason.
So basically survival instinct, which is what we're arguing here. I'm not saying like you should drink your piss on a Sunday morning. I'm saying
if only
like
they had giant tortoises still. They have 1 liter of
That's what I was saying. I'm going on a desert island. I'm hoping it's the one desert island that has the last remaining giant tortoise.
that question of like, what do you bring to a desert island? One giant tortoise,
a family of giant tortoises that I can breed so I can sustain myself forever.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Have you guys seen like Nathan? Like talk about piss drinking. Have you guys ever seen Nathan For You?
No.
Oh, is the one where he like tries to fix their business or something?
Yeah, it's one where he tries to fix their
I've heard this
business.
is really good. I really want to watch it.
It is a really good show. So it's kind of like, so it's, I don't know what the actor's name, but the character he plays is Nathan. And he tries to fix these businesses with like the most like out of the box dumb idea possible, right? And like part of like what makes the show funny is him pitching these ideas, these failing businesses. So it's kind of like, you know, like what Sacha Baron Cohen does. Like he puts people in ridiculous situations and sees how they react, right? And I think like one of my favorite TV moments of all time was possibly like the only time that I've seen him like break character or almost break character, because he was talking to this guy, this old guy, and he randomly, I can't remember the exact context of the conversation, but he randomly brings up like piss, like a jar of piss or something, right? Just to try and shock the guy.
Okay.
And the guy goes, "Oh yeah, like I drink jar of pisses all the time." And you could tell like it was like the most unscripted, amazing piece of moment on TV I've ever seen, where Nathan's like, what did you just say? He's just like, yeah, like sometimes like I have like my grandchildren's piss just lying about. Sometimes I take a swig, and you need to watch this clip, like, because it in context it's hilarious, out of context it's still hilarious. It's the only time this like Nathan comes close to like breaking character, because he's hearing something so shocking.
Why is it that immediately in my head I was like, drinking your own piss, haha, hilarious. Drinking your children's piss, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, as if it's like worse.
You're just completing the cycle of life. They came out of you.
You're going back in.
You're taking it back.
So fucked up.
That's disgusting.
Oh, gross.
Okay, so you go to a desert island.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. You're on the plane that Wilson's on. And what 3 items do you bring?
I think his name was Wilson, was it?
No, but the ball's name was Wilson.
Yeah,
was on the plane.
Tom Hanks' character, right? Yeah.
No, that wasn't his name. It was the ball's name. Wilson.
Yeah, I know, but you're talking about Tom Hanks' character,
Who
right?
cares about him?
Yeah.
Wilson was the star. So you can bring 3 items to survive. What are you bringing?
Fire starter.
Come on.
No,
what?
That's a waste of an item. Just
Why
learn
is it a waste of an item?
Learn there.
What if? Okay,
we're not counting giant toilets.
Okay, you can't bring a giant toilet. That's finite, gone. It's going to run out.
Yeah.
You should get something
just
more,
like Flint or something.
Yeah, well, the Flint's going to run out too. Eventually.
I guess.
But like, okay.
You shouldn't rely on that.
You shouldn't. Okay, assuming we're going now, right? Without prior knowledge that we're going to be crashing.
No, you're going to be going like the Big Brother or some shit. You're going to be sent to this desert island.
A tent?
You can take a tent.
Yeah. I would take a tent, because I'm not fucking collecting bones to make a house. Fuck that.
Just collect leaves, right? Just
that thing.
Just fashion your own
I would
tent.
love to see you try and build a house full of leaves, dude.
Okay. Well, let's terrace things down at the end. And what are the other 2?
A knife.
Okay, I think that's valid.
Yeah.
That's very valid.
And a nice book.
A nice book.
So he's gonna die day one. He's gonna accidentally cut his tent and then rip the book in half out of anger
And then stab myself.
Yeah. Oh god. What do you get?
I would bring a knife, a water filter that can filter salt water to fresh water.
Smart.
Onto those lamps.
But you can do that with a leaf.
Huh?
You can do that with a leaf, right?
Just pissing a snake.
just drink
your piss.
And my grandchild's jar of piss. Of course.
Just in case I run out.
Just in case.
I think the one big thing you'd want to take is probably a fishing net.
I thought that as well. I was like, fishing rod or fishing net.
Yeah.
You'd probably want a really nice sized fishing net.
Sure.
It'd probably make your life a lot easier.
True.
Or maybe like a fishing
So
spear.
I feel like a knife you can just make You could make like a caveman-esque one.
Like a sharp rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do that, and that would do everything
Maybe,
you need
but
to
I
do.
feel like a knife would make things a lot easier.
I think an
But you can,
axe would
but
be
using
better,
the
though.
knife, you can make more knives.
yeah.
Right? How are you going to start by making the knife to begin
Yeah,
with?
it's the first knife that's like gonna be the hardest to make, unless you're like that one guy on YouTube who made like the knife out of cardboard or something like
The
a
knife out of air.
Damascus leaf knife or some
if
shit
you're
like
with that one Japanese dude on the island, you'll be like, "Can I have a knife?" He's like, "Which one?
What do you got?
which genome of tree do you want? I'll make it. Can I take a boat?" Like a really nice yacht. Like,
I'll just take my $6 million mansion.
hey, I'm pretty sure some of these like rich billionaires would do it. Why can't I do it? No one said the scale of items I can bring. Why can't I bring a boat?
Well, then I'll bring a jet and get the fuck out.
Let's assume it's like a Minecraft sandbox where there's no end to the ocean.
It just goes on forever.
But I would like the boat just to be able
I'll
to-
just bring a house then. With, I'll just bring a city.
How are you gonna bring the house, Garn? How are you gonna bring a house?
On a boat.
No, you cannot. You cannot bring a house.
I'll fucking.
What if it's a houseboat?
I'll fucking float in upstyle with a fucking
at-
bunch of balloons,
at
Connor.
best-
Like
at best.
you're just making up rules as we go along here. So I'm just gonna make up rules
it's
as well.
perfectly reasonable that you can sail a boat to a desert island.
Well, then
I don't
it-
see why this is not fair.
Well, then you wouldn't need anything else because you could just fucking go back to the mainland with the boat.
no one said you have to stay there, Joey.
Oh my god. The implication was you had to stay there and survive.
Okay. If I'm staying there and surviving,
Yeah.
the entire Magic Mike collection on DVD,
Never get
a
bored.
DVD player, and a monitor with a solar power.
A laptop with a 3060 in it.
My entire gaming
A
setup.
supercomputer chip, because I'll be the only one who has them, apparently.
Oh my god.
Okay, what would I actually bring?
What would you actually bring?
Probably a fishing net.
Yeah.
I know. I
comes
feel like
back
I
to
could
the
make a
fishing net.
spear out of something, but I also think that is a lot of work, and I'd rather just catch the fish easy. Because I'm going to die pretty soon if I don't get this food.
Yeah, true.
So I got a fishing net. Toyota Prius would be very economical.
They can take a sick beach shot.
What else? Okay, what's like the perfect strat? What's the optimized strat? A net's pretty good. Knife is shit. Don't bring a knife. What a fucking way.
I feel like a knife enables you to make more tools needed to survive.
Faster
Like that.
as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So a fishing net and a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think fishing net and a knife is like the
Like,
go-to.
because you can make a knife, but like in order to craft a knife, I feel like that would take a lot of effort. But a knife is so useful that it can help you craft other tools.
I
to
think
help you
fast
to
as
survive.
well.
Fast as well.
I feel like a wind-up torch would be super useful, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Because, like, let's be honest here. You're not going to fucking do that Indiana Jones shit.
yeah. With the fire.
It's just not. It's not going to work.
Why?
How are you going to make that? You don't have oil.
Huh?
Those are like oil rags soaked in like a ball.
Yeah.
How you can't make one of those normally.
I'll just sweat onto it.
I don't know how you'd make that. How would you make one of those things?
I'm,
Do you
I'm
know?
sure maybe like, I don't know, there's maybe like some life hack where you use like tree sap or some
yeah.
shit, you know.
Maybe, but like, do you really want to be fucking around harvesting tree sap when you could?
Well,
just-
you're probably
like,
going to be
well, you could
harvesting other shit, right?
But like, what would you want to be doing in the nighttime anyway? Because if you're stuck
Yeah.
on a desert island,
actually, yeah, it's
gonna be
true.
pretty
but maybe
dangerous.
you see something. Maybe you want to.
Well, if I see something,
Oh, also rope. Actually, I don't want to make my own rope.
oh, that's true.
Like like a good fucking rope.
Yeah.
Like a really good rope.
but I feel like rope is obviously useful. If you only
Do you
have,
know how to make rope?
huh?
Do you know how to make a rope?
I don't. But do you know how to make a fire?
I can learn how to make a fire.
Do you know how to make a knife?
Yeah, I can make a knife. Just start bashing shit together. Listen,
But like, if you can learn how to make a fire, you can learn how to make rope, right?
No,
I feel that's different.
No,
That's
rope
different.
is so hard. You've got to make these like individual strands, and then I don't even know how you do that. And then you have to start wrapping that. How do you know what makes a rope?
I swear to God.
What is the base ingredient to a rope? Do you-
base ingredient?
what is a rope?
I swear to God, I've seen like ropes on YouTube tutorials being made by like massive leaves and like they
Yeah, it's like tiny strands, and then you like kind of
strands that
braid
they,
them
like,
together.
yeah,
Are you really gonna want to like rely on that though? Like, and when it breaks, like fuck's sake.
What if the rope you bring breaks?
How would you break a rope, Grant?
With a knife.
Why would you be doing
What
this?
do you mean? How do you break a rope? How does any rope break?
What,
Well, if you use it a lot, sometimes it breaks.
You must be
right?
trying really hard to break this rope.
Okay, how much rope are we talking about?
Like as much rope as you want.
Give me a length.
An
like,
infinite amount of rope.
You can have an infinite amount of
Well,
rope.
then I'll bring an infinite amount of knives.
You can. What is more than one knife going to do?
I will tie the rope on one side of like the fucking city I'm leaving from, and then I'll fucking go back home. And then I'll just like rope myself back home. Like what?
God, you could barely cycle across the Shimanami Kaido. How are you going to pull yourself back via rope?
I don't know. This is. I feel like I would be interested to do like not a complete like a desert island survival.
Okay, we should
special.
do this.
We should do a survival video.
Where we take the items that we said. I'll take
Yeah.
a rope, a fishing net, and a knife, and you can take. What was it?
Rope. No, not rope.
no,
Knife.
that's
It
fine.
was knife.
Knife 10 and a nice book.
That's right. Knife 10 and a nice book.
A tent would probably come pretty useful.
Yeah.
Gant would take nothing. She's an idiot.
Water filter for salt water, and you didn't mention the last one.
I said 5-star.
Fire starter.
Yes, that's what I would take.
What would you use to start the fire though with the fire starter?
What do you mean?
Because usually fire starters work because you already have like a pre-existing light, right?
Yeah.
So where are you gonna get that from?
No, like there's like fire starters kits available that make it easier to start a fire than using the raw materials there.
Right.
But getting that initial spark is the hard part, right? I mean, have you guys ever made a fire before?
Once.
Yeah, once.
When?
Like ages ago. When
I did the fucking.
I did the rope
the
one.
stick one.
Yeah, I did the rope. And
Where did you learn how to do that?
When we had like those like not scouts
I had like a
things,
school
but
camp
like,
thing.
yeah, like a
that I
camping
learned
thing.
it.
See,
Yeah.
I never got taught this in school at all. Like I never had like a fucking like a,
See,
a
if you had
survival.
rope, if you had rope gone, you could make that fire a lot easier.
How much rope are we talking? How thick is this rope?
I would probably side with a thicker rope though, actually, so it wouldn't work. But you could also, the good thing about rope is that you could, let's say if you had a really long rope, just cut a piece and then start peeling off the individual strands that make the thick rope, and then you got a smaller rope. Now Shaq did he did
this.
Right.
This is just three idiots talking about surviving on a 3 idiots with zero survival knowledge talk about surviving on a desert island.
Now I just want to do a video where we just try and do it.
Would you move into a house someone died in?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
if it's a fucking
wait,
steal,
okay, hold on. Depends. How did they die? Because if they die from like natural causes, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But if it's like a brutal murder, then no.
Okay, but why though? Why?
it is literally all bone.
Oh my god! What the fuck? That looks like a Dark Souls dungeon.
that is literally where the final boss lays.
That's fucking horror.
That's the end game
That's
in
not what
Elden Ring, man.
That's not what I
Jesus
didn't
Christ.
imagine the skulls being a part of the equation. I thought it was just like bones, tibias, and shit. being
Yeah.
stacked.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But no, like, so you would happily move into a house where someone got murdered?
Oh god, yeah.
Really?
If I'm getting a deal on this, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be at the fucking at the meeting with them, being like, oh, I don't know, 10% off. It's a little. Someone did die. Maybe 15, 20% off.
How low would you be willing to go? Like, how much would you negotiate down if you knew someone had died in this house?
I'd try and at least get a third off.
Because like that's actually a pretty big thing in Japan, isn't it? Not people getting brutally murdered, but like houses where people have died of natural causes.
Listen,
in that
man,
house,
in this market, you can't be picky. You got to take what you can get.
That
if
is
it's
true.
a steal.
That is true. That is true.
I'll be like, who died in here? Oh yeah, great. Yeah,
There's
I'm moving in now. Is that all right?
There's a website actually, which is like a real
Yeah.
estate website where it tells you which houses are on sale of like they call it jikobukken or like
Yeah.
accident apartments where some horrible accident has happened and now it's on sale.
Why would that affect your view of the apartment or the house though? It's like it's like saying, oh, if someone had used that swing and died on it, would you not want to use it?
Well, probably not.
Is it because is it because they lived there? Is that what like adds the weight to it? I don't. To me, I
think,
don't
like,
quite.
To me, like a house is just personal. It's like it's like your personal.
It's not a
space.
house; it's a home.
That's true. That's true.
But like to me, it's like what makes a home is the way that you've made it yours, right? It's like the base walls and floors don't mean shit to me. but all my stuff, that's my couch, that's my TV, and you know, I put it there. That's what makes it me. To me at least. When you know, that's why when I move into an apartment, I'm not like, oh, it's weird. Someone used to live here. I'm like, oh, it's a box.
No, I don't think that of like someone used to live here, but like there's a big difference between someone lived here for 30 years and that a guy was dead there a couple of years ago, like brutally. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, I know. It's.
But if it's not there anymore, it's not like you're moving in and it's like, don't mind the dead guy. He's been there for a while.
Step over him real quick.
You know how there's health insurance trying to get rid of it. Oh.
Well, it's like, you know, having your, what was it like? I guess goes back into partly into like superstition.
I think it's a how, you know, I'm not religious. I'm not very spiritual or anything, so I don't have any sort of connection with death and people and anything. I just think. It's a steal.
It's you just think it's a building.
It's free real estate.
literally, right?
Literal free real estate.
Literally a free real estate. Really. I originally, like, sometimes when houses were really cheap in Japan here, I would go and look. So I'm like, there's no way it's this cheap.
Yeah.
And then you'd go online, you would see like, occasionally that it actually someone had passed in there.
Yeah.
But you know, there's so many apartments where like. Eventually, everyone has to die in an apartment. Right?
Yeah, or somewhere. Yes,
but it's also like that's like, what if something like a battle or something happened on a piece of land? Does that affect if you built something on it? What about it? Is it because it's just a personal feeling, like it's because it's a house? I'm trying to get like because like in Ikebukuro, right? There's Sunshine City.
Yeah.
That was built on like a POW camp originally.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why they called it Sunshine. Because they were like, let's rebrand it to make it more happy.
Well, they weren't going to call it
Prisoner of War.
Prisoner of War City. Pal City.
Yeah, like I think it was like one of the, that's why they renamed it to be like Sunshine, because they wanted it to be more positive.
Really?
I believe, can you check this out?
Holy shit, I did not know that.
I believe that it was a prisoner of war camp before.
Well,
so you think like, I don't go there and I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Oh,
I think for me, it's more so about like the recency of the event, right? Like, because
that's fair enough.
You know, there's
so it's a mixture between recency plus intimacy.
Yeah, recency and intimacy. Like, you know, I'm sure there's a ton of land all around us that was, you know, where probably soldiers and, you know, people just died, right? But it's like, that happened a very, very, very long time ago. Whereas if someone, you know, just last year got brutally murdered in this living room, then yeah, I'd be a little more uncomfortable.
It's just not a nice thought, knowing that, I guess, such an atrocious thing happened in the very spot.
Are we talking about just murder, by the way?
Yeah. Or just if someone died from natural causes, I'm okay with that.
My concern would be with murder or something, right? It's like, all right, what if the guy got murdered? He was involved in like gangs or something, dealing, right? I don't want on their address book for it to be like, the guy that we hate lives here.
Yeah.
and then they come to my house.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, I would probably be asking a bit more questions, because obviously I'm not going to, you know, if it's something like that, or the person was doing something like that, I'd be like, all right, this address is probably not a great address in general.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I'd be okay staying there for like temporary, or, you know, just like, you know, you stay there and, you know, you find out that happens, and like, that's an interesting story. But like, there's just something about settling down or just calling somewhere a home where something like that has happened that would just, like, it doesn't make me superstitious. It's just not a nice thought to have, where somewhere for a place where you should be completely comfortable.
Exactly.
I guess for my permanent home, I might be a bit different towards it.
Yeah.
But towards renting, I couldn't care.
Oh yeah,
really?
If it's renting, and
I wouldn't even be okay with renting, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if it's a steal?
Even if it's but there's like, there's other ways to get a steal. You know? It's just like, barter down.
Yeah,
I'd kill for these prices, literally.
I guess different question. But when does you move into a new place?
Okay.
Right? When does it start to actually feel like your home and not just a place of residence? If you've ever felt like that, Connor.
The moment, the moment you've hit the wall and you've chipped it, and you're like, oh fuck. Oh, that's my problem. Oh fuck!
What?
That's when it hits you.
That's literally
I do that day one.
Literally day one.
You are just being irresponsible.
Yeah, I do that day one because I'm not used to a wall being here.
I chipped a good chunk of like the wood in the frame when I was moving one of my chairs.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, I'm not going to get some of my deposit back now. Yeah. God damn it.
It's literally day one where your furniture is just a little bit more heavy than you think it's going to be. Your sofa, you just want to move the sofa a little bit. And it's just like, you're just trying to nudge it, and then it just makes like that fucking scratch.
Yeah, that scratch.
And you never see it coming. You're like, I'm going to try my best to not make the scratch, but it's always like just a little like it just slips a little bit more than you think it's going to do.
I think
and you just leave that scratch.
I think for me, the moment where I know I've like really settled down is when I am 100% aware of where everything is in the house. Because you have that period where, you know, you're first moving in, you're putting shit away in like cabinets and, you know, everything. And then for a while, you're like, fuck, where was that thing again? And you just like look all around the house because you don't know where it is. But the moment where you're like, I know exactly where that really specific thing is, I feel that's when it's like.
Do you know what it is for me? It's really weird for me. For me, it's when I can switch on and off the lights without having to look at them or try to find them. You know what I mean? Like you move into a new house and you're just like, where's the fucking light switch? Where's the fucking light switch? And then you will live there for like a week or two, and then you can like fucking ultra instinct this thing. You know, like what?
It's like when you enter a room, you just.
Yeah. Right. Especially like if it's the living room and like there's different switches depending on which part of the living room, and like you live there for long enough, and like to me, a home is when I want to turn on that exact light. I know the exact switch that I have to flick to turn on that exact light. I don't know. It's so weird for me because I've never been a guy who's like. I've never been a guy who's like decorated his house a lot. It's weird, right? My room's always been like really bare. It's like a proper engineering room, which is I buy everything exactly what I need to get whatever I need done, right? I need a desk, I need a computer, I need a chair.
You don't buy non-functional things.
I didn't until I moved to Japan, and then I realized how weird it is. So I was like, I feel like Mark Zuckerberg, you know?
I was the same.
Yeah, I was like, I need to add personality to this room. I need to buy stuff to it, like fill this room up. You know,
I've always been that person where even when I was back at home, where I'm like, if I see an empty piece on my wall, I'm just like, I can fill that up with something.
No.
Whether that's a poster or a calendar or anything that I can afford.
I didn't decorate my walls until JoJo.
Really?
Yeah, if you go look at my first videos for JoJo, some of my walls are like, it's like a scientific experiment room. It's like depressing. And JoJo changed that.
I guess it's because before moving to Japan, the reason I never decorated anywhere was because I'd always think about the moment where I would have to move out of that place.
Right.
And the thought of having to like pack things up and just take everything down, that seemed like such a hassle that I was just like, I'm going to remove the hassle from myself, even though that's like years away from when I need to move out.
Right.
And then I just never ended up decorating my room. And then I remember like the only reason I started decorating it was because I was on camera more. So it would look weird if there was nothing in the background. And
I guess if you're not on camera, then there's no need, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
But I guess I'm wondering what it would be like when you actually have your own personal home that you're gonna, I guess, your permanent residence that you're gonna stay in for like, I guess, years and years, right?
I'm putting a big fucking hole in the wall because I finally can. Right? Because I can't in my current place.
You know, I wonder what the feeling is of being like a true homeowner.
Yeah.
And just like,
I just want to get to that point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need this wall. Entire wall, take it down. That's
just like I look at that and I'm just like, that is the end game.
That's the end game.
That is the end game.
Where I can do that, where I'm like, wait, I don't need permission to take down this wall. I can just do it.
I like in university, you fucking needed permission to fucking put posters up and like the type of blue tack you use. You know? And like going from that to like breaking down a wall was just like so alien to me.
It's like, you know what? I want another room. Give me another room.
Okay,
that's what I want.
Give me another room. Yeah. Let's just make these 2 rooms into one massive room. Like that just sounds so cool to me.
I want a bunker. That's what I want. That's the end game for me.
I want a church made out of bones.
Bones. In my backyard.
Luckily for me, there's just one ready for purchase. Does the price get dropped for that? That's a lot of deaths on that one.
I feel like at that point it's just like an aesthetic choice. You know?
Yeah. So you kill one person in a house, suddenly no. You kill 50 people. Oh, now it's an attraction. Oh, okay.
Now it's cool.
All right, I see how it is. So what I'm hearing is that you shouldn't stop at one. You should go the full.
Fully commit.
It's profitable to be a serial killer.
Well, it is. Here's the idea, right? You're done, right? You want to make money and you want to be comfortable. First of all, step 1, become a serial killer. Step 2, profit. Because you go to prison, right?
Right.
Never have to pay for a thing ever again. No taxes, nothing, right? And then now Netflix ringing you up. We'll make a true crime docu. Oh, 6 figures per episode.
You're just living like Biscuit Oliver.
You would be. You'd be the king of the prison.
It's like, I don't have to pay rent.
What do you want from the prison store? Oh, you want 4 packs of ramen? I'll get it for you. Clean my
Also,
bunk.
you'd just be in prison.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Maybe you're into that.
That's a slight downside to that, right?
Slight downside.
It's just like a bunker, isn't it?
But you'll be rich. In ramen.
Did you ever want to take on a DIY project?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
I love to.
It's one of those things that I definitely, when I work less in future,
Yeah.
and I get my own place, is that I'm going to have a lot
You're
of
like
fun.
half
doing it.
retired.
Yeah, I'm definitely have a lot of fun.
You're
doing
just
it.
like, lads.
Like you get the mate over. You're
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
you're
lads.
like, do you think this is a good idea? And he's like, let's give it a go. Come on.
What's the one thing you want to build? Or like
Shed for sure.
Shed.
Just number
you
one.
want to build a shed?
I want to build a shed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought about building a shed at my current place.
Yeah.
Just because I have a lot of space. But like, shed. I don't know. What is it about building a shed that it's like, yeah,
I feel like it's like the tutorial level into like building shit.
or like a table. I think that's the tutorial level.
That's the tutorial
Like a
level.
work table.
Yeah.
Building a work table where you can do other DIYs. on top of.
Building a shed is just like the easy version of building a bunker. You know, it's like it's not a tree house. You don't have to worry about gravity. It's not underground. It's just in your garden, right?
just sitting there.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, like right now it's annoying because like I'll have a problem. I'm like, man, if I just had a saw and some wood, I could like make this thing in my apartment just work easier.
Yeah.
Would you ever want a man cave? I guess that's the shed, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What is it about? I don't know, but like, there's just something primal about just having your own like man cave, right? I don't know why, but every guy I know,
No ladies allowed.
It's just a shed with like a time crisis machine in it. It's like, boys, come over.
It's like pool table, dartboard, time crisis machine.
Crisis.
That's all I
There has
need.
to be time crisis.
Yeah.
1 or 2, maybe 3.
Yeah. Like,
Anything after
I
3 is a
don't want to
joke.
be the guy who assumes things about genders and stuff like that, but like, do girls want a girl cave? Like, I'm genuinely curious because every
Girl cave.
God, the house is the girl.
Yeah. That's why we build a man cave because the girl doesn't let you
As
build
men-
the man cave in the house.
Man, we can't comprehend more than 1 room.
Yeah,
that's
we
our
can't.
limit.
That's true.
We're like one
We don't
room.
need more than 1 room.
Yeah, true. We're like, I want to be able to play Osu on 4K Dolby Atmos in this shed. And have a beer machine.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
want. I don't care about how it looks. It's my thing.
Yeah, more
whereas I think generally, you know, I'm not assuming. Normal, I think women like taking care of the whole space.
Yeah.
I don't know. Making
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
messy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know if
to me,
I don't know if I'm correct. I might just said something misogynistic. If
Also,
I did,
again, like in my opinion, like just because I'm this, men just in general just don't have a sense of interior design like a lot of ladies do.
But then you meet some guys who do.
meet some
You
guys
meet
who
some
do.
guys who are just like whizzes, and you're like,
I'm
how?
saying generally.
Generally
Okay,
speaking,
yeah.
I think the general consensus is that a lot of guys are just like, put up poster here and
Yeah.
then put up something that doesn't completely match over here. Whereas, you know, a lot of ladies are like, no, balance, theming.
That was probably one of the things I hated most about moving was having to figure out where everything goes.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because every time you try to do it yourself, you're just like, nah, it doesn't
I just
look
did
good.
my office, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do for the rest.
Yeah, I just did my office as well.
I just did my office as well. And even my office was like fucking difficult as shit to figure out. I had to,
Right.
like, I had like, I thought I had like the perfect setup, and then I put everything in place, and then it just looked shit. It looked shit. It looked shit. And I had to like do real life Sims. Well,
Yeah.
I was like placing things in different
Moving it
spaces,
around,
but
yeah.
unfortunately I couldn't just click on a button. I had to like physically move this fucking heavy ass desk like around my room until I found a place that I felt comfortable with. And I wish I could just like see in my mind's eye where would look the best, but like my imagination just sucks when it comes to
I wish
interior
I
design.
had that like overview camera, you know,
Yeah.
of the room where I could just see the entire thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I know exactly what this is gonna look like.
Also, like, I just hate making decisions. I don't like. I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing, but like the thing.
Decision
the thing,
fatigue.
This is why you would fail in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Probably. I just
Which
want,
weapon?
I just want someone to make all my decisions for me. You know, like,
oh my God. Goo goo gaga. God. Change my diapers, Sydney.
I just want to exist comfortably. I want someone to make the decisions for me.
I think
as long as I can just exist comfortably.
There's a good place. There's a good place for that. I think it's called
Prison.
jail.
Honestly, you're bashing prison. It kind of sounds like you like it.
Yeah, they make all the decisions for you there.
They tell you when to eat. They tell you when you can go and exercise. I don't know, God. They kind of sound like you might like it.
But it's knowledge.
I think you would do the best in prison out of the three of us. Why? Because you'd be in the fucking...
How'd you do well in prison?
You'd be sitting in the fucking corner having a great time watching like Kitchen Nightmares in your head for the third time. Yeah. Me and Joe would be like going crazy.
Absolutely.
That's probably true, actually.
Yeah. Gaunt would be totally chill in prison.
Yeah.
You'd be friends with everyone because no one can hate you.
Yeah. You have no decision fatigue either because everything's being selected for you.
I don't have to worry about interior design.
Literally the most stress-free lifestyle.
Consider.
It's the knowledge that if I wanted to, I could leave. if I wanted to, I could make a decision and have my own freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
So maybe like a make-believe prison.
So Gaunt wants prison, but it can leave when he wants.
Yeah.
So like a rehab?
Like a hospital?
Like a mental asylum?
Well enough, you can leave.
Only mental asylum, not.
I'd be the easiest grandparent to take care of, you know. I would just leave.
Like old folks home.
Yeah, an old folks home. Just leave me there.
Yeah.
Future child, please do not take this clip out of context. Please take care of me. This is just young me talking shit with the boys. Please don't leave me in a. Please do not leave me in an.
I can just imagine you go to visit your grandparents in this old person's home, and then just like next to your 70-year-old granddad is 30-year-old Gaunt playing solitaire. Like, Gaunt's like, I love it here. It's amazing. They take care of me.
Have you ever thought about it? Because
no.
Have you ever thought about it?
No, never thought.
Okay, so you have kids, right? Okay. I'm sure every parent goes through this phase. You have kids. You want them to take care of you when you're older, because I don't know, like many people who want to be in a retirement home, right? You want to be close to your kids as possible.
Right.
How'd you trick them into doing that? How'd you convince your kids to do that?
Well, this is where the past 40 years will matter, Gaunt. Whether or not you treated your kids right.
Right.
Did you raise a piece of shit? I think it's all about how you raise them.
How were you raised? Were you raised?
I wasn't. I was left to fend for myself, Gaunt. On a desert island.
Because like
the wolves were my parents.
Because for me, right? For you guys, you got family, right? You got brothers and sisters. You can spread the load, right? For me, I'm like an only child, so like my parents like all or nothing for me. They're like praying that I don't just wake up one day and I'm just like, Mom, Dad, I guess you're going in the retirement home today. God, they're probably sweating watching this right now.
Like, shit, he's considering.
Depends, you know, because what if it's like different, right? If you're like 40, 50, you probably have a lot more time and resources to be able to help. If you're 20, 25, 30, you know, you're barely being able to take care of yourself.
Also think about, like, you know, if you live near your parents, right?
That's
like
true.
you could be, you know, you could be on the other side of the planet, and it's like, if they can't take care of themselves, then who's going to?
Yeah,
retirement home.
Unfortunately, we are three guys who are living like very, very far away from our parents.
Exactly.
But, like, yeah, I think like we're like the exceptions.
That's why my sister lives near my parents, so all the load goes to her.
That's what I'm saying.
Do your parents need help already?
Having siblings is a cheat code, man. That's all I'm saying, man. Like,
I'd be like, sister, good luck. See you later. Teleports away.
You were the first one to leave, so that's so you like.
So now my sister's like, well, fuck, I can't leave now.
If only raising another kid wasn't so annoying. We'd all have like 15 kids. All right, well, Gaunt. Glad to know that your parents are on a one-way street to your retirement home. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Trash Taste.
Hey, you know who doesn't have decision fatigue, though? Our patrons.
Wow.
Because they decided to support us.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hell yeah.
Those are the real G's.
They're the
real G's. But hey, if you want to support the boys as well, then make sure to go to our Patreon. Patreon.com/trashtaste. Also, follow us on Twitter. Send us your memes on the subreddit. And if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
That's been this survivalist episode of Trash Taste.
What's a survivalist? I don't even know.
I think it was
a survival episode.
This was a survival episode for fucking idiots.
This is
Drink piss.
One of our best ones, I think, in a while.
Yeah.
What a
lot of fun.
Drink piss or not?
Yeah.
that's
Never
the,
drink
that's
piss
the
or
real,
always drink piss.
That's the real question. Do you drink piss to survive or not? That's the only piece of knowledge I need to know that I'm missing.
Let us know in the
now.
comments if you've drank piss.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.